Raider Nation, it's Friday, which means Friday Happy Hour. I'm Mitchell Renz. Hopefully y'all ready to turn up here on today's show. We do also have some breaking news that I was excited to be able to discuss on today's episode of the Raiders Report. The Las Vegas Raiders are moving on and cutting quarterback Brian Hoyer. Can we all get some hallelujahs down below? Goodbye, Brian Hoyer. I mean, let's face it. When the Raiders signed Hoyer to a 2-year, $4.5 million deal, every single person that is watching this show, that's watching this chat right now knows the only reason why Brian Hoyer was signed was to be a backup quarterback and because Josh McDaniels is a moron. I am just excited that we're finally starting to get to a point where we are moving on from players, where we are moving on from people that just, let's face it, do not make this football team better. So Brian Hoyer, hasta la vista, baby. Good night. And the reason why I'm freaking out is because I already knew that today's show was going to be a wild one. I already knew that today's episode of our Friday Raiders Report was going to get nuts. It's going to get wet. It's going to get wild. Go get your drinking pants because I've done a lot of these shows before. But I know one thing. Today's Friday Happy Hour is going to hit different. Elijah! Bang! It's Friday. The sun is shining in California. Brian Hoyer was released. I'm booked and busy for this weekend. I'm feeling good. Let's F it. Let's drink it up. Every hundo we get here on today's show. Fridays are meant for having a good time here with the nation. And if you're ready to get the weekend kicked off and started, then hey, let's get the weekend and let's get it kicked off and started here. If you want to spam EJM for some shout-outs, my man Jeremy Chuggs has got you covered.
Woo-wee! Let's go! I see Yoda Jenkins. I see Cloud, Juan, Blue Richards, King Javier Cedino Shorts, Sienna,
yes,
Sherry
Chuggs
Lynn,
is back. I got Chuggs.
William, let's go! Taino, Robert, P-Ring, let's go!
If y'all are ready to rally here on today's show, Elijah, that's his third frickin' bang. And I mean third bang.
Wait,
did you hear that? Did you guys hear that? It sounds like this one's rolling in from Ryan Campbell. Ryan Campbell. If you don't spam Ryan Soup RC, then you can get the hell out of here. So
chicken noodle soup.
This was the crazy thing that happened yesterday here live on the Raiders Report. And I said, man, I can't drink because Alex and we had plans. We had wedding stuff. But I said, you know what? Today, I'm ready, and I'm turning up today. Ryan Campbell is going to be unleashing a whole bunch of brand new deals here on the Raiders Report today. And I'm telling you, I hope y'all are ready. I hope you got your drinking pants on because Ryan Campbell now has just tied Fat Bearded Dad for the lead of the Bang race that we got going on here in March. And if you don't know what our Bang race is, every time somebody sends in a $100 super chat, you're entered in for a chance to win this Raiders helmet. It's going to be signed by Chuggs and I. We're going to do an auction at the very, very end of the month. Also, whoever bangs the most, you're going to get an MVP jersey. It's going to say March MVP. 5 bangs equals 1 free raffle entry. So if you don't already know, those 5 bangs that Ryan just did, that means we're giving away a free entry. So I want y'all to spam RC down below. Whoever spams RC for Ryan Campbell the most, you are going to get a free entry for a chance to win a Raiders helmet. I got to do a boot. We're going to get some of our chat sports team in here to do some beer bongs, to do some catching up, and then Ty Bones Davis. Bang!
Let's go!
I'm ready to turn up today, man. I am ready to get wet and wild. I got a boot already locked and loaded here on the Raiders Report. But you know what? I'm waiting for my friends here at Chat Sports to pull up here with me. And it's going to be a bumpy road, man. Today's going to get a little bit wet. It's going to get a little bit wild. Shout out to Ty Bones Davis. Woo! We do have some content for you guys today. We're going to talk about six moves.
We're talking about Raider stuff today?
We are actually going to talk about some Raider stuff today, so be on the lookout for that. What we're going to be talking about today, and we're going to be getting into the latest news and rumors. We're talking about Russell Wilson. We're also going to be talking about other moves that the Raiders could potentially make since they moved on from Brian Hoyer. Then we're going to look at some top free agent targets at each position. So we got Chase Sr. here. He's going to knock back. I mean, where'd you get this knife? Do you just carry this around in your pocket?
Yeah, walk by a lot of homeless people on the way to work.
All right, so he's got a casual knife in his pocket, which some of you are probably like, it's not that big of a deal. Hey. All right, y'all. Cheers.
Woo! All right, keep on spamming RC. I'm going to give one person a free entry into our Bang race for the helmet at the end of the month.
For the helmet at the end of the month.
For the helmet at the end of the month.
That is correct. That is correct. Also, I got to get a napkin. I spilled.
Oh no.
I had a little bit of spillage here. We're getting a little bit wet and wild. Shout out to Ty Bones Davis. Shout out to Elijah. Shout out to Ryan Campbell, a.k.a. Ryan Soup.
The person I've seen spam it the most.
Okay.
It's the 805 Raider, but there's two E's on the.
All right, so you're saying
the extra E.
All right, so the extra E.
805 Raider.
805 Raider. The 805 Raider, you are in for a chance to win a Raiders helmet sign by Chugs and I at the very end of this month. We're going to be doing a raffle. And right now, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 people in for a chance to win. If you're wondering what our super chat menus are today, this is what you're looking at. Every 100 likes, we're going to play Tuna Clock, and Tuna Clock is going to be $10 fireball shots here on today's show. So we've already hit 100 likes. So once we get to that point, we'll end up doing some Tuna Clock. Every $10 super chat that we get, I ask that you put in a Raiders question. We're also going to spin the wheel. I don't know what the wheel spins are. I let Jeremy handle all of these. I know that Hennessy is on the wheel, which that's why that grin is there, and I'm nervous about that one. $50, everybody shots, and shout out to Allie Barefoot. She made the Raiders Report what she calls a shot ski.
Well, I think that's just what it's called.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what it's called.
Allie invented this new thing called the shot ski.
I'll tell you what right now. It's pretty freaking sick. Chugs and I are going to take a shot at the exact same time. I'm excited when somebody sends in a 50. I'm going to call Allie in here because I want y'all to see her reaction, and I want her to see your reaction to what she made, because the fact that she made this by hand, I mean, it is spectacular.
I'm surprised she made it by hand.
I am too.
Not by foot.
True. Very true. Yep. There's a lot of jokes in here. Every hundo, we will do a beer bong. You get added to the Bang competition, and we're going to get this thing party rocking and a little bit of rolling.
The reason why you all clicked into the video.
Probably.
Should the Raiders sign that and us drinking?
Yes.
Should the Raiders sign Russell Wilson?
Or Usher?
Simple. Give me a yes. Give me a no. What say?
And if you haven't seen the latest news yet around Wilson, he is going to be visiting or has already visited with the Giants and the Steelers. I made a video on it this morning. And then, according to Adam Schefter, it is a possibility that Wilson also visits the Raiders. So he didn't say that he is visiting the Raiders. It was anytime Schefter says it's a possibility, I almost think and say that Schefter's been told that Wilson's plan is to visit with the Raiders if he does not sign potentially with another team, because there was a report that came out from the Steelers that was the Steelers are going to do everything in their power to make sure that he gets signed. We will see. We will see.
They won't let him leave the building. They're going to lock the doors.
Yeah, that would be something. I don't know if that's legal. I don't know what to think of that one. Let's go to Evil Mitch.
Rip Akira Toriyama, the creator of Dragon Ball Z.
Really?
Yeah. Yesterday.
Okay. I mean, this is why I'm glad that you're here, because I don't know this kind of stuff, and you're good with this.
Can we just get a quiet, just somber, one last Kamehameha? Kamehameha.
What?
Dragon Ball Z.
Is that what they say?
Kamehameha. Yeah, pretty
Well,
sad.
It is very sad.
Pretty sad. Let's bring it up the mood, though, with
Ty Bones Davis Bang!
Here's a bang for his Jimmy G string to get let go next. Trim the fat. Let's effing go. I'll take Wilson and a drafted quarterback. Hey, that's what Mitch has said. Besides the top 3 quarterbacks in this year's draft, the next guy on his list would be Russ if he signs for like a vet min type deal.
Is Ryan Campbell in the building? I gotta know. Is Ryan Campbell in the building? Because I got a boot ready to rock and roll. And it is a David Zahn milkshake. I just saw Zahn. I don't know if Campbell's here. I want to do the boot with Campbell being here, but I haven't seen him comment below yet. So I got a boot. I have to do a boot. Ryan Campbell wanted to get this party started yesterday. We got to get it going, man. We got to get it going.
John Rodriguez says, I just want to see Allie barefoot. Heart emoji. The only way that's going to happen is if we get a 50 and we can do the shot ski.
That's very true. Unless you just mean like you just want to see her barefoot.
No. I think he means I want to see Allie barefoot. Shoes on.
I say she didn't even flinch. She's like not even a flinch in there. No, I'm telling you right now, when you guys see what Allie made, it's going to blow your mind.
Also, can we just spam Allie for a second? Not only did she make us an amazing shot ski, she's actually, vibes are a little low for Mrs. Barefoot today.
Celtics?
Nope. She had a piercing in her ear. Saw the ice on her ear all day. She's been in a little bit of low spirits, a little bit of an owie. So if you can spam Allie down in the chat,
Owie barefoot.
That would really make her feel a lot better.
Owie.
That would make her feel a lot better.
Owie barefoot. Is it with a Y or an I?
Allie, I would say it's A-L-L-I-E.
See, I feel like
He did.
yeah, I have no idea.
It's I-E. It's not Y.
I mean, I'm not good with spelling. I'm
I'm
be
right,
honest.
right?
So it's what? I-E? I-E. Interesting. I don't know if that's what I would have guessed. I don't know. I see Mac. What up, the 805 or the 805 Raider? Blue Richards, Mr. David Zahn Sienna. What up, bros? Extreme team. I got Tom Davis. Today's MVP so far. Shout out to Ty Davis, but I do got to show some love to Ryan Campbell. Also, whoever is the MVP of today's stream, I'm going to be wearing your jersey Monday when we go live. And if you don't know, Chugs and
Now
I,
you know.
we're going to be live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week. I know we're getting started at what? 11 a.m. Eastern time on Monday.
Yep.
And we'll probably be live until we go home. So that could, if the Raiders don't do anything, I would say we're probably leaving at 7 Eastern.
Yeah.
7
Oh, yeah.
Eastern. 7 Eastern time.
Oh, I was
So,
thinking our time.
Yeah, no, I got you. 7 p.m. Eastern. So no matter what, you guys are at least going to get, I'm going to say 7 hours of live Raiders report on Monday.
Christian Mendez put it in the chat. Absolutely electric chant. You know Patty the Batty, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
He said, "Oh, Allie the Batty."
Where does he rank, though? Is he actually a good fighter?
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah?
He's good. He's
Is
coming
he fighting
up, though.
this weekend?
He's coming up. I don't believe he's on this card. He might be on 300. Let me check. We were talking about
Russell Wilson is in the Steelers building as we speak.
Russ is in the Steelers building as we speak.
As we speak right now. This is something. I know my buddy, he fought O'Malley like 2 or 3 years ago. He got his shit pushed in, but he's the guy, they call him like the Green Zombie. It's his like UFC name.
The
He's
Korean?
No. He's got like green hair, but they called the fight because he just took so many punches and he didn't go down.
Oh, wow.
He's one of my buddies from Boston. But yeah, dude, it was It was nuts, man. Nathan Wolf, he's sending in a 20. We're going to count that as 2 wheel spins today. We're going to count that as 2 whole wheel spins today for Mr. Nathan Wolf. Bro, I would have had a beer with you over Internet Peter if you get what I'm saying. No, your content is always above and beyond. Bro, I would have a beer with you over Internet Peter if you get what I'm saying, and your content is always above and beyond. Nathan, I'll just say that I appreciate that you think that our content is good here and that you'd always have a beer with me. I mean, I hope that people, when they watch the show, I get it, like, you see Chugs and I up on screen, but, like, I would legitimately hope that you guys could approach us in person.
Talking about Peter, yep.
Who?
He who shall not be named.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I don't. Today we're keeping the good vibes going. I think, like, you know, I've been able to have a beer with a lot of Raider fans that are in this chat right now, and I like to think that I'm a very laid-back type of dude. And at the end of the day, when I do this show, I want people to just be like, you know what? That's a cool guy that I'd love to talk Raiders with. Like, that's a guy that I'd like to have a beer with. Like, I'm a normal dude just like all of y'all. All right, what do we got? Are you effing me, man? Condiment shot? What do we even have?
Whatever condiments we have, I'm going to go pick one.
You don't even know what we have.
We do have condiments.
I know. Either we have the barbecue sauce that DK's had in there for about 6 months.
Well, one more spin. Let's see what it is. Maybe
there's there's Chick-fil-A stuff in there. I'm probably not good. You want to switch?
It was almost condiment shot Chugs.
You want to switch?
Do I want to switch?
Yeah, I'll do the push-ups. You do the condiment shot.
I'm okay.
Shit. I just don't know what you're going to pick, and that scares the hell out of me.
It won't be too... dude, you're the condiment king. You love condiments.
I like sauce when I eat food. Just plain not knowing what you're going to give me, that scares the hell out of me. Should the Raiders re-sign Josh Jacobs to $10 million a year? Let's just say, hypothetically speaking, that's the number that Jacobs and his team are putting out there on the table. I spoke with Jacobs' team, and I just want to make this very clear. This is not a number that they gave me, and I don't want anybody to take what I'm saying here and go out of context. They gave me no numbers at all. The only thing that they gave me were years based on 2 or 3 is like what they're looking. They don't want to sign a 1-year deal. But let's just say it's $10 million a year. So you can get Jacobs for 1 year 10, 2 years 20, 3 years $30 million. Let's say that. He's holding it behind his back. Left or right? All right, the fact that you're closer to me, I'm going to take the right.
Right?
Yep. What, you switching it on me? Polynesian. All right, this I can do. What was the other one? Oh, barbecue. So what? I got to eat this whole thing. Oh, my God. I got to eat all this Polynesian sauce. I mean, I like Polynesian sauce. Now, like this, again, I like sauce when I eat like sandwiches or like anything out here, but it's because I'm eating it with something. I will admit, eating just like plain sauce is weird to me. It's the same with, can you eat meat cold? Like eating meat cold to me is weird. I don't know if I can do it. Like I don't think I'd be able to do it. I love Polynesian, but by itself, I don't know. By itself, I don't know how I feel. What are you doing over there? Oh, you're doing push-ups. I'm not going to lie. I just saw something, and I was like, what on earth? All right, y'all, count them out with me down in the chat right now. Uno, dos, Gerard, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve. Come on. Ah! Oh, Chuggy Bowl. I think you're good. Oh, Chuggy Bowl. You want some sauce to I mean, I'll tell you what, that's a hell of a shot right there. That is, that looks like a whole nother type of condiment. All right, y'all. L'chaim. Cheers to you. I'll be real. It's not as bad as what I thought. It's not great, though. By itself, not really what I was looking for. By itself was not quite what I was looking for. It is what it is, though. It is what it is. All right, Jeremy. We got 740 people here. Does anybody want to get into a duck race? Does anybody want to try to duck around and find out? I'm kind of down to duck around and find out. You know what, Jeremy? It's Friday. I'm feeling a little bit loosey-goosey today. How about this? I'm going to add $100 right now. Extra 100 in the 50-50 raffle to get this thing started off. I want an insane race. I want there to be a shit ton of people in this 50-50 raffle today, and I'm already adding $100 in there right now. So if you want a chance to win a little bit of money, $20 Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365 for a chance to win. And once you know it, Justin Gilbert is the first one. Actually, that's cap. Randall Carter beat him. Randall Carter is the first one in the duck race today. Randall, I don't know when he did it. He must have did it so quick that I didn't even notice it. Randall Carter, my good man, you are in. So, Randall, we're putting you in. I got Justin Gilbert. That man is in. Remember, you can add me as a friend if you'd like. I'm not just going to send money to somebody who's not my friend. It's all good. I totally get it. If you want to add me, please do so. Matt Fluhey is in. Not once, but he's in twice. Nico Laz says, get me in that race. My brother from another mother, Jamari Murray, said put me in. Philip Bogert wants in on the action, which means right now we have 7 people in. Isaac, I see you just sent me 10. I need another 10, and then you'll be in, Isaac, which means right now, as it stands, it would be winner would get $170. Let's go to the man that nobody should F with, James frickin' Lillard.
Don't mess with this guy.
Mitch, thoughts on signing Wilson and drafting Michael Penix to sit for a year? I think it's a good idea. It's not the first idea that I would want to do. It's not the slam dunk option that I want. But I do think that the idea of signing Russell Wilson to a $1.21 million contract is a safety net of an idea because you know that he's an upgrade over Aiden O'Connell. Worst case scenario, if you're the Raiders, you have Wilson and you don't get your guy in the draft, it doesn't mean then like you have to reach on a guy in the draft. Because what I don't want to happen is the Raiders go with only Aiden O'Connell into the draft. Then you're in the draft and you're just so scared that you're not going to get Jaden that either you overcompensate and overpay for Jaden, which I'm actually okay with because I want Jaden Daniels to be the Raiders quarterback. But what I don't want to happen is Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels go off the board, which now people are saying Drake May might fall, and I'll be real with you, I would love for Drake May to fall down the board. But the thing that you cannot afford is like you reaching on a quarterback like a Bo Nix at pick 13 because you're scared that you're not going to have another option outside of Aiden O'Connell. So to me, Russell Wilson is a safety blanket, $1.21 million. I'm on board with it. And then if you have a quarterback like Michael Penix Jr. that can learn the offense and learn behind him for a year, no, I don't think it's a bad idea. And I think the only reason why people say, no, I don't want Russell Wilson, it's because his name is Russell Wilson, and he is what he is. Which, I get what Russell Wilson is as being a total cornball. But you know what? If you want to just talk about money, like, what's like your least favorite car in the world? Like, is there a car brand or is there something that you're like?
I hate this, that, like the Fiat, like the old bug car looking, like the L Cruiser. Not Fiat. Is it? It's like an L. I have to look it up now.
To be honest, and maybe this is a hot take, I don't like the Cybertruck. You know the Cybertruck?
Yeah.
If somebody offered me the Cybertruck for $10,000, I would drive it. But I'm not going to drive it because of how much it is.
Chrysler PT Cruiser is what it is.
Oh, the PT Cruiser?
I just think it's the ugliest car ever.
If somebody said, hey, you can have this car for, let's just say, I feel like getting Russell Wilson for $1.21 million is the same as somebody saying, hey, Chugs, I'll give you a brand new PT Cruiser for $1,000. Would you take it?
Yeah.
Like, you would take it. You're like, all right, like that's a good investment to me. And to me, that's what Russell Wilson is right now. It's just a good investment. It's a safety blanket. I don't know. Venom, what's up, man?
John Rodriguez, Chugs, your last 3 ups were very wavy. Yeah, I came out hot. I came out hot with the first one. Also, I saw people saying, "Oh, they weren't military." Don't have a lot of room back here to go spread arm. So I went what are these push-ups where your elbows are in?
I don't know.
Like this.
Those are the ones I do.
Yeah, there's that.
You can
do the wide ones, or the ones where your hands are touching in the middle. Those are hard as hell.
Triangles are tough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I went with the interior. The last 3, they had me.
Yeah.
They had me.
They had you.
Admittedly, I've been on the weight loss grind. So I haven't been lifting weights. I've only been doing running and cardio and basketball.
I got you.
So
hey,
the arm strength a little bit down, but if I see a Chiefs fan, I still got the.
No, I'm not gonna lie. Your left arm looks strong. I could tell you've been working out. How's the married life been treating you? I think this is your very first show since the actual knot's been tied. Since the
help me, I'm stuck. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. It's been great. It's been great. Danny, if you're watching, I love you so much.
Isaac Griggs, my good friend, you are in. Eugene Pacheco is in twice. Mr. Pacheco. I see Baltazar said, Mitch, you know what? Get me in twice as well. I also see Amy, she's in. And then Michael Gomez is also in.
He's been spamming it for the past 3 minutes.
I'm listening.
King Javier wants to do a one-on-one duck race with you. How much would you wager if you wanted to do a one-on-one with you? I think it would have to be a pricier one.
All right, how about this? Hang on. I got an idea.
Well, first we have a couple super chats to get to.
Oh,
from
shit.
my guy, Taino.
What's up, Taino?
With the 50-piece, and that means who we're gonna bring in now.
Yep, that means it's time to bring in the foot.
Oh, Allie the baddie.
Don't believe the draft smoke with quarterback draft stock dropping, raising. Move up to number 5 and get Jaden Daniels. Don't want to start having the woulda, shoulda, coulda conversations mid-season, all shots. So I hear what you're saying, Taino, but there is a risk that you're not going to be able to get Jaden Daniels at 5. And what I don't think is a smart and intelligent thing to do is to trade up to number 5, and then your guy is not there. Like, to me, the only way I'm taking a quarterback in the top 5, the only quarterbacks that I'm taking in the top 13 picks are Drake May, Jaden Daniels, and Caleb Williams. If all 3 of those guys are off the board, then you just traded up to number 5 for what? Like, yeah, you can get Marvin Harrison Jr. potentially.
I think he goes to number 4.
Oh, I think he goes before. I'm saying potentially.
You're trading up
Joe
draft
Alt?
capital to get Joe Alt.
He might even go, though.
Well, you're going to get one of the 2 in that scenario. If you traded up to 5, you would either get Harrison or Alt.
Fair.
Or one of the quarterbacks, which would be good.
Yeah, I don't love the idea of just trading up to trade up for the sake of it, because I don't think Jaden does fall to 5. Like, to me right now, based on the rumors, Drake May might fall, but I think that's a lot of smoke as well. Like, I've seen the quarterback rankings around Drake May. I don't understand how people can say that. Like, there was a lot of NFL scouts out there, and what I think is hilarious, Chris Sims ranked him as his quarterback 6. Chris Sims also,
he sucks.
In the beginning of this year, okay? Think about this statement. So what drives me nuts is when people, I don't want to say recency bias, but Drake May was like Chris Sims' guy, and now after him not playing any football, now he's QB6, and before Chris Sims said that he would leave his job to go be the offensive coordinator of whatever team Drake May gets drafted to. Since then, now he's quarterback 6 and no games have been played. How is that possible?
Not trying to besmirch the man's name, but I saw him at Radio Row at the Super Bowl. Kind of big shot at me, kind of was like, who are you? But I asked him, I said, so, Kellen Mond over Jalen Hurts. And he said, well, everybody gets things wrong, And then he was like, I got to go. Basically, it was like, I got to go.
Yeah, well.
And basically big time me. And I was like, all right. Kind of a douche.
Yeah, again, I know a lot of people do get things wrong, but I will not understand the hype around Chris Sims and quarterbacks because he's been awful for the last 4 or 5 years. Like, if he was good, sure, but he hasn't been good.
It's like a fortune teller that just gets everything wrong.
Correct. I watch this weatherman because he's never right. He's never
He'll
right.
tell me it's raining, so I'll wear shorts and a T-shirt that day.
All right, hey, Allie, can you pull up in here real quick? All right, y'all, so here's what's going to happen. I'm going to show you guys what Allie made Chugs and I, so here's what I want to do. Chugs and I are going to hold it, and then you're going to pour the shots into it. Does that sound good? All right, so for those of you that don't know, Allie Barefoot made us, and I want you to see this. It is our very own shot ski. Mitch Chugs, the shots are already in it. On the back, I kind of jammed them in there a little bit. If you guys want to scream Raiders, you can scream Raiders along with it. We are going to be doing a giveaway for this. This is probably going to be a giveaway in April during the NFL draft. I want to use it for a while.
It also doubles as a paddle.
Correct. It also, if you take the shots out, can be used for something as well. All right, you got to drink out of the chug side. That makes sense. So this is, she made this by hand. Did you excuse me. If you painted this with your feet, you should actually record it and go like on America's Got Talent. I mean, that's, she, yeah, yeah. All right, here we go. Let's pour it up. We got, yeah, watch out for that gong back there. There's a random gong. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, how awesome is this thing? 1 to 10. I mean,
All right, you have to do it in sync, or it's gonna be bad.
what about Backstreet Boys?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Ready? Oh, man. I'm telling you, now the next game that we're going to play is Jeremy and I are going to take out the shot glasses, and we're going to see who can hold it up without using their hands the longest. That's what we're going to do next. Honestly, I can fit. Oh, man. Raiders! Shout out to the Foot for hooking up the nation. That is our brand new shot ski tool. I seen a few that were going around the Chat Sports office, and I was like, man, I got to get me one of those. What up, Dylan? I don't know how comp picks work, but just saw we got 0. Correct. The Raiders ended up getting 0. So it goes by coaches. It can go by certain contracts. It can go by a plethora of different things. But the reason why, for example, the 49ers got so many, I think they ended up getting 5 comp picks. So if you remember, if, let's say, Champ Kelly would have got hired to be a GM at some other team, let's say the Carolina Panthers, they would have hired Champ Kelly, then the Raiders would have got a third-round comp pick because Champ Kelly went somewhere. So it depends with certain rules in the NFL. I'm not going to sit up here and be able to go through every one. If you want to Google, like, comp pick rules, you can. It's just there's so many. But, yes, the Raiders did not get any comp picks. So very, very unfortunate, no doubt. But is what it is. Yes, I know. I sent Jeremy something because we still got some wild stuff to do. Has anybody seen Ryan Campbell? I don't think I've seen Ryan Campbell at all today. You know who I have just seen? Michael Gomez! Bang! Fill it up, Buttercup, which means, Jeremy, I don't know if you know this or not, but we are 2 bangs away from giving away another free entry here on the Raiders Report. Michael Gomez, if you want a shout out here on the Raiders Report. King Shav said Mitch versus me right now, duck race. I'll make King Shav a deal. If we get 2 more bangs, we'll do a duck race, him versus me. Anybody can do it. 2 bangs, me versus King Shav, duck race. And, excuse me, if King Shav beats me, I'm going to put 50 into the duck race for everyone else to win.
Nico, no, the free entry would be into our Raiders helmet raffle.
Correct. So at the very end of this month, we're going to give away this Raiders helmet signed by Chugs and I. And basically, it's going to be a raffle. So every time somebody bangs, you get a raffle ticket. And then every 5 bangs, we give away a free entry. Does that make sense?
So we actually do have a show, because I do see some people asking, where's the Raiders content?
So it's 6 moves and then top free agent targets.
Yep, we did change that
Mm-hmm.
last second. Yep. So we do have some Raiders content coming up around the bend. We're about to get into 6 moves the Raiders could make before the start of NFL free agency. And
also, we need Beto. We went from Taino to Dylan. We got Beto's in there. Beto super chat.
You know what?
I was going to say, I saw Taino, I saw Dylan.
I think you're right.
Hey, Beto. Mitch, have to give you your props. I appreciate that.
That's me.
Oh, is it?
Oh, yeah. Beto's from correct me if I'm wrong, North Dakota.
Oh, we met
the
him.
Belt
Yes, we met him at the
Steelers game. At the Trop.
Yes. Yeah, that was I was going to say, I was trying to figure out where that picture was taken.
That's at the Trop.
Is it?
Yeah, that's at the bar.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Because my mind went to that event.
I clearly remember it because Brett took this picture.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you then. Yeah, he said, yep. Russell Wilson unsigned for the vet min and how that process would work weeks before the national media did.
Yes.
What?
He says, Mitch, you were drunk.
Oh, dude.
Yes.
I was. You can blame Taino for that.
He ate Panda Express that night and didn't remember he ate Panda Express until the morning.
It was a disaster. I felt bad for my sheets. I had so much Panda on my bed, but the problem with that night, and it was a hell of a night, and this is why I won't do shots again when I go out with people, just because I can drink Fireball if I just stick to Fireball, but the amount of shots that I was given throughout the course of that night.
Who was it? It wasn't Taino.
It wasn't Taino, no.
Shots.
It was I can literally picture them right now.
Him and his wife came in. Wife was super nice. He was giving us tequila shots.
Oh my! He watches the show all the time.
Right after we took some Woodson whiskey shots.
He's retired. He's retired. That's why they came.
Yes. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
PG 28.6.
Yes.
PG. God, I was like, who the hell is it? It's PG. So PG and his wife, they bought us these crazy freaking shots, and
they were quadruple tequila shot.
It was
a clear cup full of tequila.
It was a good night for Mitch. But we had to get up that morning at 3 o'clock to catch our flight at 5. That way we could fly back here to Dallas to be able to do our watch party. And it was something. Also, we got some breaking news here around the Las Vegas Raiders. We got to do a cut on this. The Las Vegas Raiders have just signed running back Amir Abdullah. He's back. He's back. That's a video. That's a video.
You can't make it up.
You can't make it up. He's back. Amir Abdullah has just signed with the Las Vegas Raiders.
Own video, or do you want it at the front of the cut?
Honestly, I think it's its own.
Yeah?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to do that.
We don't really have any...
No help?
Well, I mean, maybe. We don't have a lot
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Have a lot of Amir Abdullah graphics.
So just slap it in the beginning of the one that we're about to do?
It's up to you.
Yeah, that's fine. We can do that. Just give me a bio at the beginning, and then let's get this filmed, highlight cut, and let's push it out.
Okay, yeah.
And we're just going to need a new thumbnail. That's all. All right, y'all. So coming up here, we're going to get into the breaking news that the Raiders just signed Amir Abdullah, and there's been a lot of moves that have been happening here over the course few hours. So the video that's going to be coming up here is since the Raiders cut Brian Hoyer, and since they signed Amir Abdullah, I'm also going to predict 6 other moves that the Las Vegas Raiders could potentially end up doing. I don't have the numbers yet on how much that Abdullah signed for. That's maybe a matter of time before that we get it. I will admit I am a little bit surprised that the Raiders are bringing back Amir. He does give you some special teams value, but the reason why Abdullah was signed in the first place with the Raiders was because of his connection with Kennedy Polamalu, the Raiders' old running back coach. Now Polamalu's with Seattle, and now the Raiders got this brand new connection. But to me, this is kind of an interesting move, and the fact that the Raiders ended up getting a deal done with Abdullah, I'll be real, was not a move that I really, really saw coming. I'll be real. Like, it's not a move that I saw coming. It was it's kind of a surprise to me. I'm just being honest with y'all. So here's what's going to happen. Coming up, we're going to get into some of the news here around the Raiders signing Amir Abdullah, and this is just me and my opportunity. Also, the Steelers, they just released Allen Robinson. He's gone. That's an interesting one. So what's going to happen during free agency, and this is the transparency part here of the show. During free agency, a lot of stuff is going to happen, and Jeremy and I are going to do our best to be able to navigate the situation as best as we can.
That's what I was just about to do.
Okay, yeah, so Raiders sign Amir Abdullah. Can you just have somebody fix the copy, or you can or somebody else fix the copy?
Yeah.
Okay. And then we'll end up getting this deal done. I do need a new thumbnail, though, so if you could put that in.
Jones is on that. DK's cutting and pushing.
Okay, perfect. All right, y'all. So what do you guys think? Do you like it or not? Let me know. Do you like the fact that the Raiders just signed Amir Abdullah? Can you also change the live title for me? So Amir Abdullah back with the Raiders, yes or no? What do you think? Do you like it? Why for yes and for no? Amir Abdullah re-signs with the Las Vegas Raiders. No, I just need a thumbnail for this cut. So if you could put Brian Hoyer and Amir Abdullah on the cut, or on the thumbnail, that'd be great. He's a good special teams player. I'm cool with it. I just want to see how much it's for. Like, if it's anything more than $3 million, I'm going to be a little bit disappointed in the decision to bring him back. But, like, this is just a simple move of you have an opportunity to have a back that does have the ability to catch the football, which we can all agree on. It also, though, shows you that they're trying to at least keep some more continuity in there. I don't really think this impacts Josh Jacobs at all, if I'm being 100% honest with you. Like, I don't. Real Cowboy said as long as they don't re-sign Bolden. Yeah, I do not think that that's going to happen. Yeah, I don't think that that's gonna happen. Realistically, I think what you're going to probably see is Amir Abdullah. They're not going to give him the vet min. I'm going to just say that it's going to be somewhere around like $2 million for this upcoming season, Amir Abdullah being there. But his special teams value alone, he's a good athlete from top to bottom. Like, it's a good depth move. So, what up, Robert Jansen? What up, CJCSR1? Coming up here on the Raiders Report, we're going to get into the 6 moves that the Raiders could make now, because you're going to see from the time from now until probably, I'm going to say, I don't even know, now until free agency, the Raiders are going to be making a lot, and I mean a lot of moves until that time. Let's go to Eric F. What up, Eric F.? Wilkins has to be priority 1 in the free agency realm. Kuntz and Max are beast, a good front fork in disguise, and with our secondary, need CVG linebackers, though. Coverage linebackers. I agree. We do need more coverage linebackers, and I agree that Christian Wilkins should be that number 1 priority right next to Chris Jones. Now, Chris Jones, to me, you're going to have to give him something bigger than the Aaron Donald type of deal. But Christian Wilkins has played with Rob Leonard. He's been on the team with Patrick Graham when Patrick Graham was the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins. So I agree. I am trying to get Christian Wilkins in silver and black. Real Cowboy says, as long as they don't re-sign Bolden, I want nothing, and I mean nothing, to do with Brandon Bolden. You know who's always got my back? David Zon Bang! What up, Zon? Okay, guys, let's get Mitch so drunk he forgets the 3rd grade. Holy shit. I will say we are 1 bang away from me and King Shav doing a duck race, and we're going to give away a free entry. But before I do all of this, I do want to get this cut going. So coming up right now, we are going to do a cut around the Raiders, bringing back Ameer Abdullah. We're going to do a cut around the Raiders, moving on from Brian Hoyer. And then I'm going to look into my crystal ball here and figure out other moves that the Las Vegas Raiders could potentially make, because there's going to be moves that could be had. I'm still trying to see how much money it's for. I don't have any figures yet on this deal. Yeah, I don't have any figures yet on this deal, but it is officially official. Ameer Abdullah is back with the Las Vegas Raiders, man. How are we feeling? Maybe. We might get to that moment. Kenyon Drake. How many people here watched our live show at Kenyon Drake? Because that one was a memorable experience. Let's just say that. That was a memorable, and I mean memorable experience. Still nothing yet with Jimmy G, though. All right, you ready? Jugs, give me a thumbs up. Coming up right now, let's get into the latest news here around the Las Vegas Raiders. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And before we get into the breaking news around Ameer Abdullah and Brian Hoyer, today's show is presented by Manscaped. You don't want to be cut like Hoyer. You want to be re-signed like Ameer Abdullah. And to make sure that doesn't happen, go to manscaped.com, use code Raiders for 20% off and free shipping. That way, when you get rid of all that stuff, you're not just rocking a Zon, you're rocking a long Zon who likes to bang. So coming up here on today's show, we're going to be talking about the two things that the Raiders did, and it kind of inspired my entire idea of why I'm making the video that I am making. So first move that the Raiders made on Friday was they released quarterback Brian Hoyer. It's like a $2 million dead cap hit, and you save $92,000, which in NFL terms is literally like a box of Pop-Tarts. The other move that the Raiders ended up making was they re-signed Ameer Abdullah. I will admit, I'm a little bit surprised by this move considering the fact that Abdullah was signed by the Raiders 2 seasons ago. That way, he was able to join Kennedy Polamalu. Kennedy Polamalu was the Raiders' old running back coach. He is now with the Seattle Seahawks. But I wouldn't look at this as like a running back move. I would look at this more as a special teams type of move. Like Ameer Abdullah is more of a pass-catching running back, and it is more of a kick returner type of ordeal. And this has nothing, and I don't think this has anything to do with Josh Jacobs. Unfortunately, we don't have the contract numbers out yet on Abdullah, but I don't anticipate that this is going to be more than $3 million. I'm hoping that it's going to be $2 million for this upcoming season. But this is exactly why you hit that subscribe button. It's exactly why you turn on those notifications. Like, with the amount of information that is going to be coming out today, tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, all next week, Jeremy Chuggs and I, we're literally going to be live from Monday to Friday next week. I don't want you to miss it. We're going to be balling. It's going to be a hell of a time here on the Raiders Report. So coming up, I got 6 moves that the Las Vegas Raiders could potentially make right now before NFL free agency. I'm going to be honest. There are 4 moves on here that are very likely, or 3 that are very likely, 1 that is likely, and then there is another one there. The other 2 moves are just a possibility. And if you're not watching this show live right now, you better tune in live because this shit is about to get wild. So the 6 moves coming up here are just my predictions. And the first one is the Las Vegas Raiders, they are going to cut Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, I'll be honest, I've actually had some people recently tell me that there is a possibility that Jimmy G is not designated as a post-June 1st cut because I anticipate that he is going to be a post-June 1st cut. However, I have been told that there is a chance that they don't do that because they want to be able to use the money saved by Garoppolo right away. If they cut Jimmy G right away and it's not a post-June 1st cut, it's a $17 million dead cap hit and you get $11.25 million to spend right away. Now, what I think would be the smarter thing to do is just designate him as that post-June 1st cut candidate. That way the Raiders save $24.7 million. Yes, I understand that you don't get that money until after June 1st, but if you're a smart organization, you still can operate your cap accordingly, and that's what they have Delaney for, who's a very smart person. But the Raiders, they got to cut Garoppolo by March 17th. Like, it has to happen. If they don't cut him by March 17th, then he makes $11.25 million. How many people watching the show right now want Jimmy Garoppolo to make $11.25 million on the Raiders this season? I know I don't. And if you want the Raiders to cut Jimmy G, I want you to click that like button because as far as I'm concerned, let's get rid of all the Josh McDaniels pieces. Brian Hoyer, bon voyage. Brandon Bolden, you better not bring him back. Jimmy Garoppolo, hasta la vista, baby. Let's go to the next name here of moves that the Raiders could make. They're going to end up cutting Hunter Renfrow. And I know Renfrow is a player that is still like, the nation rallies behind, but it's also been 2 years. His first 3 years with the Las Vegas Raiders, he was one of my favorite players. He was one of the most fun players to watch out there on the field because he was playing backyard football and getting open. The last 2 years, he's that player that when he steps out in the backyard football, he gets picked last and nobody wants him on his team. He hasn't been able to stay healthy. When he's been on the field, he hasn't been good on top of that. And I do anticipate that the Raiders are going to designate him as a post-June 1st cut candidate. That's going to save Las Vegas about $11.9 million. Sure, you're going to eat a little bit of money, but at the end of the day, the Raiders know that they are not going to be able to trade Renfrow. I'm telling you right now, the only trade value that he might have is if you can get a 7th-round pick in the 2025 NFL draft. The Raiders have tried to trade Renfrow for almost 2 years now. Nobody wants him. People know that he's not very good anymore. He's got injury issues. And if you look at PFF and you care about PFF wide receiver rankings, he was the worst wide receiver in the National Football League last season. The Raiders like Renfrow, and they're going to do right by him. So by designating a post-June 1st cut, he still has the opportunity to go sign with some other teams. The Raiders just save that money, and they don't get the $11.88 million until after June 1st. So here's your opportunity to be the GM because I like Hunter Renfrow. And I think if you asked 100 Raider fans, all 100 people would say, yeah, I like Hunter Renfrow. But that's not what this show's about. That's not what jobs are about. That's not what this organization is about. It's just win, baby. And you can like somebody, but you still have to be able to make the right decisions in order to get to the ultimate goal, which is a Lombardi trophy. So here's your opportunity. Be Tom Telsco. Be the GM. Should the Raiders cut Hunter Renfrow? This is going to be the pinned comment here on today's show. Cut or keep? My answer is cut. So, what do you guys have to say? Let me know. Scroll on down. Should the Raiders cut or keep Hunter Renfrow? When you look at the numbers over the past 2 seasons, it's obvious to me. Now, the 2021 outlier, I also think that has a lot to do with the fact that, let's face it, the Raiders were relying on Henry Ruggs. That situation is what it is, and Renfrow was forced to be the number 1 wide receiver. Also that year, Darren Waller was very, very injured and couldn't really get into the mix at all. Over the past 2 seasons, though, 36 grabs, and then last year, 25 catches, 255 yards. I mean, Renfrow cost the Raiders multiple games over the past 2 seasons. He has a fumbling problem. He has a confidence problem. And I think at this point, if I'm Renfrow and I'm his agent, there is one team and one team only that I am trying to sign with this upcoming offseason, and that's the New Orleans Saints. Coming up here, I'm going to tell you 4 other moves that I anticipate that the Raiders could potentially make before free agency begins. But if you don't already know, man, I don't know what I got to tell you at this point. Today's show is sponsored by Manscaped, and I love Manscaped because they have been rocking with us here for about 4 years. And when you build that type of relationship with somebody, it is very special because they allow me to say the off-the-wall shit that I love to be able to say. But on top of that, I want to be able to work with a brand that is very similar to me. And I also want to be able to support a brand that is very similar to me. If you were to ask me, Mitch, what is the brand that represents you totally? It's freaking Manscaped, man. And if you want to go get started, go to manscaped.com. Use code Raiders for 20% off and free shipping. And I know it's March. And I'm really excited about March because
the luck of the Manscaped.
The luck of the Manscaped. Embrace the luck of the Irish and join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. Head over to manscaped.com. Use code Raiders for 20% off and free shipping. This year, don't just chase rainbows. Make your own pot of gold and groom your little leprechaun or girthy leprechaun with just... with Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-kilt care. Say goodbye to your clover forest with Manscaped's Lawnmower 5.0 and let your confidence shine bright. I don't know about y'all. I like my Ken Stabler, and I want my Ken Stabler to be living in a nice groomed area. I'm not saying that I go Brazilian. I have also not saying that I don't go Brazilian, but I don't want a George W. just wrapped around my Kenny Stabes. You know what I'm talking about? On top of that, they offer a bunch of different products that I do think that a lot of people would like. I know Father's Day is a little bit of a ways away, but if you're looking for, this might be weird, stocking stuffers out there in terms of like little gift ideas, whether it's somebody's birthday, whether it's extra gift just for saying thank you for whatever. I do think Manscaped's products are really awesome products, and I also love that they're beard hedger. Like Jugs and I think we have a great beard game. So if you want to go get started with products that we use and that we trust on a daily basis, go to manscaped.com, use code Raiders for 20% off and free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. All right, we're going to keep this thing rocking and rolling, and to make sure that you don't get cut, use Manscaped. All right, the next move that I could see the Raiders doing is cutting Brandon Facyson. So when I started the show, I said 3 moves are very likely. Very likely moves. The Raiders are going to move on from Facyson. And, let's face it, the dude barely played last season. Played in only a few games, and when he was on the field was not all that inspiring. It was kind of confusing in the general when the Raiders ended up signing him just because I couldn't quite figure out what the connection was. Facyson, though, is going to be a free agent in 2025, and he was injured the entire season with that shin injury. If you end up cutting him, you do save $3.3 million. You have to end up eating $350K, which it is what it is at that point. But, again, you're saving some money by moving on from Brandon Facyson, which I do think is the correct move. It's the right move for the Raiders to do as they march forward, and you can save as much money as possible. If I told you right now, $3.3 million to be able to go out and just get a backup linebacker, just somebody that's going to be able to add a little bit more to your game. $3.3 million for Greg Van Roten right now or Brandon Facyson. I'm not saying I want Greg Van Roten to be a starter, but I would like to have Greg Van Roten back to be a backup quality offensive lineman. Let's go to the next thing that the Raiders could potentially do, re-sign Josh Jacobs. Now, I spoke with Jacobs' team on Monday earlier this week, and they didn't really tell me anything based on money or based on contract, dollar amount. But what they did tell me is they had a very good conversation with Tom Delaney and Tom Telsco at the NFL Combine, so things are at least progressing in the right way. We know that both sides want to get a deal done, and if Jacobs hits the open market, it might cost the Raiders more. If Antonio Pierce legitimately wants to get Josh Jacobs back, they should try to get a deal done before free agency. If you want to gamble a little bit and you just want to see what his market is like, fine, and maybe that's what the signing of Amir Abdullah is. It's just a little bit more insurance just in case Jacobs does not return to the silver and black. But at the end of the day, if the Raiders' plan is to bring him back, you should try to put a plan in place to get him back before free agency, because it's going to be, I don't want to say a feeding frenzy, but there's going to be multiple teams out there interested in Jacobs. I'm not allowed to share with you the teams that have already shown interest in Jacobs, and I know that Jacobs' team has met with some other NFL teams. However, at the end of the day, if that's your guy, prove it, bring him back here, and let's keep this thing running. Coming up, I got 2 bold predictions before free agency. So when I did this video, I was like, all right, let's do things that are going to happen. Let's do things that might happen. And then, let's do 2 things that are a little bit more off the wall, but they have the potential to happen. So the next thing that's going to be coming up here is this. The Raiders signing Xavier Howard. So there are certain players that can sign right now, and there are certain players that cannot sign right now. Since Xavier Howard was released by the Miami Dolphins, he has the ability to sign anywhere right now. So if the Raiders wanted to bring in Howard, I think it's a possibility. The reason why I'm throwing this idea out there is because Antonio Pierce said that finding a cornerback 1 for this team, for this organization, was a priority. Also, on top of that, Howard has worked with Patrick Graham before, when Graham was the defensive coordinator of the Miami Dolphins back in 2019. Xavier Howard has also been a part of teams that have had Rob Leonard, who's the Raiders defensive line coach, and Gerald Alexander, who is the Raiders safety coach. And Howard had 15 interceptions in the 2 years when Gerald Alexander was the defensive backs coach in Miami. So the 2 best years that Xavier Howard has ever had was with Gerald Alexander. I get it. It was in 2020. It was in 2021. His best years are probably behind him, and he has struggled a little bit last season more than what I've liked. I'm not sitting up here saying, hey, let's go give Xavier Howard $10 million per year. No, that's not what I'm saying. But if it's true that you are looking for a legit outside cornerback, number 1, then I would say Howard is at least a name to keep in mind. And if you're like, you know what? I don't want to get into the bidding war. I don't want to get into the free agency frenzy. Then I do think that signing him before all of this happens could potentially be a smart move that pays major dividends, because if he's healthy and motivated, he could still be one of the best corners in the National Football League. So how about this? Let's just say that Josh Jacobs and Xavier Howard are both $10 million per year, okay? This is the game that I like to play because if I'm playing Telsco, Antonio Pierce GM role, these are the conversations, these are the decisions that sometimes you got to make. If you would say, we'll give Josh Jacobs $10 million this year, but that means you can't get Xavier Howard, or would you rather give $10 million to Xavier Howard and then not get Josh Jacobs? I want to see your answers down below, and if you want my answer, hit me up on IG at Mitchell Renz 365. Let's go to the final one here, and it's signed Patrick Peterson. So Peterson was released by the Pittsburgh Steelers today on Friday, and the Steelers have been making a multitude of moves. They actually just released also on top of that Allen Robinson, which is a pretty interesting move. Yeah, and they signed Fehoko. But for Patrick Peterson, this is another guy that I get it. He's past his prime. But if I was Peterson, I would look at this past season and go, you know what? Why is this year a little bit of an outlier for me? It's because he played safety. Now, don't get me wrong. He is probably going to be signed to be a corner/safety, but I also know that the Raiders really value versatility, and the Raiders safety coach, Gerald Alexander, worked with him last season in Pittsburgh, and there was a lot of people that are like, Patrick Peterson, he's washed, he's not good anymore, and he struggled at corner because he doesn't have that step anymore, but he is an intelligent player, and when you put him back there at safety because he had to take over for Minkah Fitzpatrick once he went down for Pittsburgh, Peterson actually did a halfway decent job. So if you're the Raiders and you go, all right, we can bring Patrick Peterson on a cheaper deal, let's say like $4 million per year, essentially what they ended up giving Marcus Peters last year, and you have somebody that has that flexibility to play safety and could potentially play cornerback in a pinch that has relationships with Gerald Alexander, who's, again, been a very successful safety defensive backs coach in his NFL career, I do think it's a low-risk, potentially high-reward move that the Raiders could make before NFL free agency. So here are some moves that I could see the Raiders making: cutting Garoppolo, Renfro, and Brandon Facyson, re-signing Josh Jacobs, and then signing Xavier Howard and Patrick Peterson before free agency starts. Again, this video was created because there was some breaking news, and if you're watching this live, get ready to pull up here and have a good time. If you're not watching this live, then, hey, this is your opportunity to tune in. But the Raiders, they cut Brian Hoyer to save $92,000, and they have also re-signed running back Amir Abdullah. We don't know how long the contract is. We do not know the money or how much it's worth. My projection is 1 year, somewhere between $1.5 and $2 million for Amir Abdullah. David Zorn Bang!
But wait!
There's more! Mr. Zorn Bang!
That has to be it.
There's no way there's one more. There's no way! David Zorn Bang! All right.
You know what that means? We're $100 away from a boot race. You already have one ready for Ryan Campbell.
I do already have one ready.
We're 100 away from me boot racing you to get this show.
That's Allie putting your foot in your mouth. David Zorn David Zorn. Let's go. A Zorn bomb, man. I mean, what the hell, dude? David frickin' Zorn, Mount Raidermore legend here. If you want an opportunity to get in for a chance to win a signed Raiders helmet, I want you to spam Zorn right now. And because Zorn is a member of Mount Raidermore, I'm not giving away one spot. I'm giving away 2 spots. We're going to give away 2 spots right now. So the person that spams Zorn the most, you're going to be in for a chance to win a Raiders helmet signed by Jeremy Chuggs and I. Also, I got to say this. I don't know if Sarah Otto has ever been in a duck race before, but the queen is in. Queen Sarah Otto, you in. Also, Moshav, My man Moshav, he is in. Zon, I'm going to put you in as well. So as it stands right now, if you want a chance to win some money, $20 Venmo, you'd have the opportunity to win $270 here on the Raiders Report. Spam those Zons. I'm going to pick a name, and then I gotta try to do a boot race here against Chugs, and this is going to get interesting, this show. I'm telling y'all right now, this is going to be an interesting day. No doubt about it. All right, so the first name that I see here, oh boy, excuse me. I just want to make sure that I don't give some people more than one opportunity. All right, so the one name that I continuously, and I mean continuously see, is see the problem with some names on here, y'all, I don't have like last names, and I feel like I need to get a good last name or else it's going to be very difficult. All right, so the first one that I'm going to give is somebody who's watching this show all the time, Rustin Long. You're going to get one entry. It's your Zon milkshake. So this is where you're going to beat me in a boot race, I know. All right, and then we're going to give one more away here. And this one's going to go to somebody who also watches the show very frequently, and I appreciate that because at the end of the day, I want this to go to somebody that does watch the show a lot. And it's going to go to Rick Aguilar. I think that's how you pronounce it. Or Rick Aguilar. If the spelling is correct on that, which I believe it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me count these up here. 5, 6. All right, we're good. I believe we are all caught up. Chugs and I got 2 boots to do. I know that we got 2 boots to do. That's going to be interesting, man. What up, Twinkie? Zon, you're a freaking madman. What was funny yesterday when I told everybody that today's show was going to be nuts, Zon literally put in the group Mount Raidamore chat, okay, who did it? It was Ryan Campbell, Zon. Whoever the MVP of today's show is, though, which right now is between Zon and Ryan Campbell, I'm going to wear your jersey Monday, and we're going to be live again from 11 a.m. Eastern Time until basically 7 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, rocking and rolling. What? Correct. If Zon were to send in a $2 super chat or a Venmo, because I think he's all capped out on super chat, then he is the new MVP of today's show. It's, though, I usually say, Zon, I'll just be honest, I usually say tie goes to Mount Raidamore. Put my jersey on, I dare you? Should I put Zon's jersey on? What, are you saying today or Monday, Zon? Because now I'm scared. Now I'm scared. And yes, King Schaff, it is going to be me against you in a duck race. Let's do these boots first, though. Let's do the... Oh, I did not. Sorry. This is when the show gets a little bit out of control. What's going on, Mitch? I just tuned in while I'm here at work, and all I hear is David. What are the chances of getting Jaden Daniels? If so, what will it take? I know that the Raiders are going to do everything in their power to try to get Jaden. Just because I'm saying that doesn't mean it's going to happen. Like, trading up into the top 3 at pick number 13 it's not an easy thing to do, right? Like let's face it. It cost the Niners to get from 12 up to 3 just a few years ago, 3 first-round picks, and I'm going to anticipate it's going to probably cost you 3 first-round picks in order to do that. And if I am Antonio Pierce Tom Telsco, I'm okay giving up that 2026 first-rounder because at the end of the day, if you're not doing well in 2024 and 2025, you're not going to get to 2026. So I would look at 2026 as almost like an imaginary type of picks where it's like an imaginary money. Like if I could use those to help me get my guy, I'll do it. And if you get your guy, then it's totally worth it. If you don't, well, then you're not going to have a job anyway. So I'm going to say if the Raiders want to get up to pick number 3 right now, I'm going to say it probably costs you 3 first-round picks to do it. And then you're also probably going to add in a second-rounder on top of that and potentially a starting caliber player. From what I am being told, to get up to the top 3, it might cost the most that it has ever cost before. And that's just the way that it is. All right, y'all. Wear it on Mondays on? You got it. You got it. I was going to say, I'm a little bit nervous about today. I also wanted to be able to rock the Campbell jersey because he sent in the 500 Venmo, and his shit got a little bit wild here. All right, boot race time. I got a little bit of a proposition to make to you, though. Are you okay? So right now we're at 36 ounces. Can we make it 40?
For how much?
Oh, for 40. For Zahn doing the 5 for Fluhy, if we just made it 40. 40-ounce boot race.
I can do it.
Jugs is like, you know what? We're already here. 40-ounce boot race. And then this is where shit gets a little bit juicy. All right, y'all. I want to know who you got. So here's the thing. Jugs has only ever beat me with 36 ounces. 40, it's a whole new race. It's a whole new race here.
It's like going from college basketball 3 to NBA 3.
All right, so I did a David Zahn milkshake. What did you do? Corona? I was going to say, yours looks
I
lighter.
did COVID-19.
You would. All right, this is going to be a spicy meatball. And do I get a head start? I think I should get a head start. 10-second head start.
10 seconds?
Yes, 10 seconds. What do you mean,
I don't
dude?
know.
Guys, come on. Our 10-second head start races are better. Why for yes and for no? 10 seconds. Somebody said Chugs 40 like water. I mean, when he puts them down, it's like water. It's kind of insane. Again, when you see it in person, it's a whole nother level. And to the people that have seen it in person before, it's kind of hot. Wow, I'm actually getting a lot of no's. I shouldn't. All right, I'm seeing some 5s, some 7s. JD Carter says 8. See, what you guys don't see is when he does that, something else also pops up. All right. I'm seeing 5 seconds, so I'm a man of the people, Chugs. I'm only going to get 5 seconds here. This is going to be a blowout. I just want you to know. Imagine Pauly D's hair in a boot race. That's what this is.
Imagine Coop after Panda. That's what this is. A blowout.
Oh, shit. Also Coop. All right. Who you got? C's for Chugs, M for Mitch. Coming up after this, more shenanigans, more shit show, and I can't believe we have another segment to do. Yikes. You ready? Oh, wait, and then we got to do the King Shav duck race. Me against King Shav. King Shav, you're going down. All right, 5 seconds. I also need King Shav to count. King, as soon as I start, I want you to count down like you do before the show starts. When he hits 0 is when you start.
I just realized this is my first boot.
As a married man.
As a married man.
Is that ring going to slow you down a little bit?
Put it at the bottom.
What, the ring in the bottom? Dude, that would be one of those stories of like, all right, Danny, so I swallowed my wedding ring. How did you do that? So, how much time do you got? All right, King Shav.
David Zahn.
Most of my bad stories with Alex usually start that way. So Zahn did. All right, I'm going to start this boot. King, as soon as I start, you count Jeremy down. You ready? Oh, tits. Oh, God. I'm not going to lie, that extra 4 ounces, that hurt. That extra 4, man. That extra 4 ounces was bad. I think I figured out a new technique. I think I figured out a new technique. Dude, that was tough. I'm not going to lie to you. That was not easy. Holy crap. Yeah, David said, Chugs, that's unnatural, bro. It's the greatest show in all of sports right now. I'm telling you what right now. It's unbelievable. You should hear it. It sounds like, I'm trying to think of an example. It sounds like when it's like a torrential downpour of rain and you just see all this water rushing into a drain and it's just like, it sounds like a dam breaking. That's what I hear in my ear. Sounds like a dam breaking. I mean, it's nuts. Coming up next here, let's talk a little bit about free agency and who's going to be the Raiders' first signing in free agency. So, I mean, as soon as the tampering period starts. So, tampering period starts at noon Eastern time on Monday. As soon as that starts, who's going to be the very first player that the Raiders sign? I want to get those answers going. What? I hope the answer is Christian Wilkins. That's what I hope. If it's Christian Wilkins, I'm telling y'all right now, dude, I don't know if it's going to get to a Devontae Adams level. It's going to get nuts, though. Like, it's going to get nuts. While the answers are coming in here, Jeremy, I'm going to give some shout-outs. Can you get the race between me and King?
Oh, yeah, I can do that.
King, I don't want to do a duck race. I want to do, like, you want to do dogs? A dog race would be pretty electric. A dog race would be pretty electric. Sienna, congrats to Chugs. Best wishes to you and the missus.
Thank you, Sienna.
So, I know we talked about it briefly before, like, the whole, like, wedding and everything. What, like, now that it's been a week, what's, like, the one thing, like, is there, like, another thing that you're just, like, really, really remember that, like, you should absolutely do this at your wedding type of thing? Because our wedding is a year and 3 months away.
So ours was a little bit smaller because we did a destination wedding.
Yeah.
We had like 50 people there.
I'm not going to lie. I showed Alex your wedding, and I go, I'm super jealous right now because I wanted to do exactly what you guys, I was like, we should do an all-inclusive, like let's go to the beach. And she was like, no, like, I don't want to know if we can do that. I mean, our wedding's going to be beautiful, but low-key, I was jealous.
The one
I was jealous.
The one thing I thought was really cool that we did, that I'm really glad we did, and looking back in like 5-10 years, I think it's going to be a really fun memory, is right after the ceremony, we did pictures with like, you know, usually after the ceremony, you do pictures with like all the groomsmen, like you with your families and whatever. We did one picture on the beach with everybody that showed up, all 50 of us, and we all like jumped and were like, hey, and
cool.
It came out really good.
Yeah.
So I think that was something that was really cool. And then also, I think looking back, I mean, all inclusive, obviously, like when you go to a wedding, it's an open bar, so it's like drinks and stuff are just flowing. But signature cocktails, and something that we did that really started the party was to get your table number, like to get your seat, it was your name, and then there was a little card with your name, and there was a shot on top of it.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
It was like, take a shot, take a seat. And then we did our first dances and stuff, and then we did a first dance with everybody. Everybody hit the floor, and we did a first dance with everybody.
Oh, that's dope. See, I would like that. I would want to do something like that with Alex's family and my family together. So there's like a tradition, and I bet you guys would probably know it better than I would. So there's like a Mexican dance where it starts slow and it just gets progressively faster, and you move. Like I know the dance now. I don't know what it's called, but you move this way, you move this way, and then you move this way, and then you move this way, and it just gets faster and faster and faster. It's kind of like the Mexican version of like what's like the electric shuffle? Is the electric shuffle the? I don't think it's that.
Abby's saying it's El Payaso.
Oh man, I don't know.
Balls, waltz. It's balls.
I don't.
BALS.
I can't tell if they're serious. So it's not the electric slide. No, it's a certain dance that the Mexican culture does, which I never knew about. And I remember Alex's mom kind of tricked me. She goes, "Oh, it's easy. You can do this." And it is easy to start. And then it just gets faster and faster and faster and faster and faster. And it's just like, it's insane.
Oh, Ryan.
What?
Ryan Campbell just showed up.
Mr. Campbell.
He said his Wi-Fi was out.
Oh, man. Mr. Campbell. Are we invited to the wedding? You are family. The unfortunate part about this is I can't even invite all of my own family. So, again, my family's so big. Like, my family's gigantic up in Pennsylvania. So what Alex and I are doing is we're literally only bringing, like, certain family members down here to Dallas, doing our wedding here, and then I'm going to go up to Pennsylvania, and we're just going to get a few kegs and just do, like, a family get-together up there. It's, like, legitimately, if I were to invite every single one of my cousins, like, I would say people that show up to my family reunion, my mom's side of our family reunion is legit 200 to 250 people deep. I'm not even kidding when I say that. We have to rent out, there's an amusement park in Pennsylvania called Knoebels, look it up. We have to rent out an entire pavilion, and, like, that's, like, our just family. And then my dad's side of the family, we haven't had a family reunion since my grandfather has passed away, but before that, I mean, that's 100 people deep. You know, like, a 350-person wedding is not going to happen.
Well, that's just your side.
But, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Alex is like, can I bring a couple people?
No. You can bring Chuck.
We're packed.
Yeah, you can bring Chuck. What up, Adrian? Funniest memory from the wedding, Chugs. Congrats.
Funniest memory?
All right, I like this game. If you want to know questions from Jeremy's wedding, super chat, and we'll get them up here on screen.
I would say funniest moment from the wedding would be you always think like, oh, like the flower girls and the ring bearers and stuff and the ring security, and it's
ring security?
Like ring bearers, like
like
the little boys who bring the rings down.
Nah, bro, you can't come in here.
They
Juan Gutierrez, you're in.
Flower girls did great. But my nephews, the ring bearers, none of them were about it. The two littlest ones were like freaking out, like having tantrums right before, like, we were all supposed to walk down the aisle.
Yeah.
One of them, it was sunny outside, so they put sunscreen on his face, and I don't know if they put on a new kind or something. Dude was not having it at all. Like,
how old was he?
Crying, just like red eyes. Like, I think he got some sunscreen in his eyes, and he was just like not wanting to walk down the aisle, not wanting to do it. It was like the flower girls, perfect.
Yeah.
The ring bears, like, it was like
out of hibernation.
It was like 3 dudes showing up day after, like, a bender. Like, they were like walking down the aisle crying, like dragging their feet. Like, they were not having it at all. But
does anybody object? I do. Oh man, that's hilarious.
The pictures, they were not happy, and the boys were just like, and like during the pictures, some of my 2 of my nephews, we were on the beach in the sand, and they just were like pouring sand on their head.
You know what'd be funny though? Like, let's say 25, 30 years from now, when they get married, you reenact those photos, but you do what they were doing.
I just pour sunscreen in my eyes.
Well, no, I was saying more of the sand. More of the sand on your head / like, you should be the one that walks up the aisle, and you're just, at that time, kind of crazy, 50-year-old Chugs just stomping along. I don't want to do this.
Just crying.
Dude, I love it. Anthony Green, you in. Jason Martinez, you are in twice. And then I also see Ricardo, one of the greatest last names of all time, Mondragon. You are also in, which means if you're not in our 50-50 raffle yet, I added an extra hundo. So it is a $20 Venmo, which means right now winner would get $220. I added an extra $100, so it's $320. And if King Shav beats me in a duck race right now, horse race, I'm adding an extra 50. All right, y'all. So I'm telling y'all should root for King C if you are in our duck race. If you are not, then hey, you can root for your boy here. Jeremy, we're going to do this one. And then after this, I say we get into our final segment here around some free agent targets at each position. And then I'm ready to get even more. I'm going to make some deals. I'm ready to make some deals because here's how you know. My eyes, the more they start shutting, that's when you can tell. You ready? You ready? King Shove? Good luck to you, my man. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Run it. And out to an early lead. Oh, is me. I'm a little bit nervous about this one. Do I have a ponytail? Is that what that is? Do King Shove and I both have a ponytail here?
I think both long hair.
I guess it makes sense. Ponies, ponytail. This race has been a very even race from the start. King Shove has got me by a nose right now. This is going to come down to the wire. I mean, I can already tell. This is going to come down to the wire. Abby said first lead always loses. I know. That's why I'm a little bit nervous here. We got to come away with a dub. King, you're going down, man. I actually like where I'm at right now. I think I'm in a good spot right now. If I can just get a little bit of a surge here. Come on, Mitch. Come on, Mitch. King Shove is starting to pull away. 6 seconds to go. Oh, wait. This is going to come down to it. It's too late, though. King Shove with the win. Hey, you know what? I'm a man of my word. We're adding an extra 50 to the 50-50 raffle. So that means right now, as it stands, we have 22 people in, which means you would win 220. I already added an extra 100, 320. I'm going to add an extra 50 now. We're at 370 to the winner. $20 Venmo to win $370 to the king. Congratulations to you, man. Congratulations to you. He got me fair and square. See, now, King, I feel like you got to get in this race. You got to get in this race, man. We are going to do this at the very, very end of today's show. Ray Aguirre, you are also in, so I just want to say that. Did that cut get out yet?
Yes, I believe DK pushed it.
All right, let me just tweet this out real quick.
Push it.
Push
Push it.
Push it.
real good. Dun 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 dun. Real good. Dun 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 dun. Push it real good.
Man, oh man, oh man. I just want to make sure that everything's caught up. Can you just hold it down here for just like 2 minutes while I get this out?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Oh.
Almost.
Wrong one.
Almost. We almost got there. And now we're good. Maybe. Almost.
Push it real good. So I actually didn't give shout-outs for this question earlier, so I'm going to bring it back up onto the program. Let me know. Who will be the Raiders' first signing in free agency on Monday? Do you think it'll be Christian Wilkins? Do you think it'll be maybe another player? Will the Raiders go ahead and sign, a cornerback? Maybe Xavier Howard on Monday. Maybe they get another safety. Maybe they sign a linebacker, Levante David, or maybe a Blake Cashman at linebacker. Do they sign an offensive lineman? Maybe a Rob Hunt, maybe one of those high-profile guys. Maybe they re-sign Jermaine Illuminor. Who do you think they signed? Justin Simmons. I see Kendall Fuller. I see Dees. I see Leonard Williams. I also see a super chat from my man, Taino Raider. He says, Chugs, was FKC or F McDumbass included in your wedding speech? Another alley shot. Love you, nation. No, FKC was not in my wedding speech. Neither was Josh McDaniels because I wanted it to last. And Josh McDaniels, if he's a part of your wedding speech, you got 2 years max.
And it's a shitty 2 years.
It's a shitty 2 years.
It's a shit 2 years.
Also, I think if I did say it, right over Danny's head. She would not I don't even think she'd be mad at me. I think she'd be more confused if I mentioned Josh McDaniels.
I'll tell you this right now. I would have been mad at you for mentioning Josh McDaniels' name at your own wedding. If anybody mentions Josh McDaniels' name, yeah, at my wedding, I'm not going to be happy. Not going to be happy. Taino, we got some shots to do.
Best man speech, he's just like, first off, Josh McDaniels.
I'm right.
Fire Josh McDaniels.
See, there's ways to start it. Also, I feel like now we got to do it the other way.
I do have to say, though, the one thing I learned and the one thing I would say to anybody who's giving a speech at a wedding, less is always more.
I think
there's a teetering balance.
The way that I look at it, and the way when I wrote my best man speech, I looked at it like the national anthem at the Super Bowl. Anything over 2.5 minutes, way too long.
Yeah.
Anything under, you're good.
Anything over 2.5 minutes, just like the Super Bowl, you're taking over from what everybody's actually there for.
Correct.
Under a minute, you're like, wow, you didn't put a lot of thought into that. I think there's like there needs to be like a formulation, like a math equation to a best man speech or to a speech at a wedding. It's got to be in that minute to 2 minute range. It's got to have one nice thing about why you are in that position.
Yeah.
It's got to be one thing about the couple whenever they first met. One thing about the bride or groom.
Yep.
About the other person. Maybe one joke and then a touching like love thing at the end, wishing them a happy life and marriage. I think those 5 things, you get those in within like 2.5 minutes, you're good.
I actually still have my best man speech. I've only done one best man speech. I was told that it was very good. I felt bad for the guy that went before me because, again, this isn't a more of a brag, but you probably feel comfortable talking in front of people. Like, I know that we don't actually see you guys on a daily basis, but if there has always been one strength that I've had, I do feel like I've always had the ability to just be able to speak in front of people. And I did my best man speech. I thought it went well, but it literally was just all memories of the times that we had and a lot of things that you said of like what need to be in a best man speech. I'll make you guys a deal. Tonight might get a little bit rocky, okay? If somebody else does what Ryan Campbell did, which is big, and sends in a 500, or if we make 500 more on tonight's stream, I'll read my best man speech on tonight's show.
2 minutes?
No, not 2 minutes. 2 minutes. No, nobody wants to hear it. Honestly, I'm not going to do it. It's one of those things where nobody's going to get it, and like, well, nobody's going to get it. We were like, who the is Joe?
Joe, I remember when we first met.
Yeah.
Taino, just like.
Oh, such a nice story.
All right, let's do these shots, and then let's get into our.
Yeah, we got to do the final segment, and then we can let
day.
our hair down a little bit. We'll hang out with you guys for a little bit longer after that, and then, dude, free agency is going to be a shit show. I'm excited though. I know, dude. I know. Next week's going to be a blur. What?
Oh, I guess you want to show them the other.
Yeah, I want to show them the other side. Though I think you should be on this side now. I actually don't know. All right, we're still good. All right, y'all. Taino, cheers to you, man. Ready? A little bit of the fireball. A little bit of the fireball. I mean, I'm telling you what right now, this thing's awesome. Like, this is official as a whistle. This is hand-painted. Somebody's going to go home with this in April, by the way. Somebody's going to go home with this in April. We're gonna sign some names down here. It's going to be dope. Or do we not sign it? Maybe we don't sign it. Oh, we'll sign it. I mean, like, maybe we don't put extra names. We just keep it. I think that's actually what I'm going to end up doing.
I mean, if we're giving it away, I think we just small signature at the bottom.
Well, we could put our name here. Imagine, like, David Zahn. Dude, I don't know. Is what it is. If
like it.
I'm saying if Zahn wins it. Or
right.
Ryan Campbell. Taino Raider. All right, yeah, let me get all my stuff together.
Sienna said Allie should just sell those.
You're probably not wrong, Sienna. The problem is then she's got to make a bunch. And it takes a lot of time to make them. I actually felt, when she told me how long it took her, I felt kind of bad, actually.
How long?
It took a long time.
Long time.
Long time. All right, y'all. I don't know if you guys know this.
Long time no shoot.
Raiders 12 said, I thought Fireball was a woman's liqueur. It's a good liqueur, though. It's actually the number one whiskey, I believe, in America right now.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy's like, just get to the segment. All right, coming up next here, we're going to get on.
You wouldn't be saying that if you had Ahern's Fireball.
Bro.
That Fireball was lit.
Literally. It was unbelievable.
The head chef of Joel's Chop House, an amazing steakhouse. If you're ever in Vegas, go check it out.
It's the greatest dinner I've ever had. It's the
best
greatest
dinner I've ever had.
It's the greatest dinner I've ever had.
But he watches our show. He knows that we like Fireball. He made his own in-house Fireball with like crushed pepper and like different like.
When there was like legit like peppers in it, and when he first showed it to me, I was intimidated by it. Like, I'm not gonna lie. He was like, it's gonna be spicy for you. It's like, all right, like I can handle it. It was delicious. Like, imagine Fireball, and again, I like old fashions. It was kind of like if you were to marry an old fashioned and a Fireball together at a very high quality level. Dude, it was one of the best drinks I've ever had. It was so freaking good, man. It was so freaking good. Where's Zahn? I see some people talking about Zahn. Are you here in the chat, Mr. Zahn? Are you here in the chat, Mr. Zahn?
Zahny, can you hear me?
Oh, dude, this is going to be something. Somebody's going to watch this cut on Sunday, and they're going to be like, what's wrong with this guy? All right, y'all. I got to do this cut right now or else it's going to get a little bit blurry here on the Raiders Report. Once this cut is done, we'll stay live for a little bit longer. We'll continue to party with y'all, and as long as you want to continue to party with us, we'll keep this thing rocking and rolling. Shout out to David Zahn. Shout out to Ryan Campbell for really getting this party started. Also, shout out to some of the other real ones out there. I see Taino's been rocking with us here on this show. We had Jason earlier pull up, throwing a few bangers. I've had a good night. I've had a good time. You ready? Chugs is ready. Are you guys ready? Coming up next here on the show, let's talk about some of the top free agents that the Raiders could target at each position in free agency. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And on today's show, we're going to be looking at the top free agents to target and sign in NFL free agency at each position for the Silver and Black. I'm doing this as almost a little bit of a guidance for Tom Telsco and Antonio Pierce. Not saying that they need it, but hey, if you want a little bit of help, I believe that the players that I'm going to mention are the ones that you should target this upcoming offseason. Today's show is presented by Panda Supps. Supps has been rocking with us now for almost 4 years, and I think anytime somebody rocks with you for that long, it's a very awesome thing to be able to do. If you're looking for some high-quality protein, they also have a lot of other things that you can get your hands on, and if you're looking to get in the best shape of your life, go to pandasupps.com, use code RAIDERS, hopefully you can remember that, for 20% off, and one of the things that I personally love, their mint chocolate chip protein. It is unbelievably good. I cannot even tell you how good it is, but you got to go try for yourself. So the way that we're going to go here for each position is I got a lot of Raiders top needs, and these needs are based off of draft free agency. They are off-season needs. They are not just free agency needs. However, if I'm going to paint my picture of how this offseason should go, I'm going to start with the top needs, and I'm going to work my way down. So for me, the Raiders' top needs Number one, it's quarterback. Like, I don't care what you do this offseason. If you do not find a legitimate quarterback that gives you the opportunity to compete, what are we even doing here? We're just wasting our time again. Because if I got to watch Jimmy Garoppolo, Aiden O'Connell, luckily Brian Hoyer's already been cut, it's not going to happen. To me, there is one quarterback and one quarterback only that the Raiders should target in free agency. Whether you like it or not, it's Russell Wilson. And I'm curious to see what happens to Wilson over the weekend. He's in the Pittsburgh Steelers building right now, and his meeting went really, really well, which is an interesting thing. Adam Schefter has said that, hey, he could potentially end up meeting with the Las Vegas Raiders. Sounds like he's already met with the New York Giants, the number one team that I think is linked to him. And I'm recording this video on Friday, so if Wilson ends up signing on Saturday or on Sunday, then I'm going to tell you all right now that the Raiders should not target any other quarterbacks in free agency. You put your chips in one stockpile with Aiden and say, hey, you're going to be the backup, and you go make something happen in the NFL draft. Let's go to number 2 here. It's defensive tackle. This is where I am going to put my chips in the basket in free agency. And sometimes I get that you might overpay a little bit at some positions. I have sat up here on this show this offseason, last offseason, the offseason before that, and I feel like every single year, what's the Raiders' biggest need? It's defensive tackle. Can we just put that to bed already? Can we get Tyree Wilson a little help on the interior? Can we get more one-on-ones with Malcolm Koonce? Can I get more one-on-ones with Max Crosby? I know that Chris Jones is, for the Raiders, probably going to cost $32 million per year. You're going to have to pay him more than what you gave Aaron Donald. These are all very good options. I'm talking like 11, 13, probably 17, $22 million. The number one defensive tackle I want, Christian Wilkins. He's got connections with Rob Leonard and Patrick Graham. If the Raiders sign a single player during free agency, we're probably already going to be live, and we're probably going to be live every single day from, I'll say, 11 a.m. Eastern Time to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. If the Raiders end up signing a guy when Chugs and I go home, we're going to go live. Our job next week is to keep you guys up to date. But you know what? That also comes on your end, too. If we go live and it's late at night, if it's 1 a.m. Josh McDaniels fired type of live, I need y'all to pull up with us. So if you're real ones, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Let's go now to the next top need for the Las Vegas Raiders. Rolling in here at number 3, it is offensive tackle. And I look at offensive tackle, and I really should probably say just right tackle, but there is still an opportunity where Colt Miller could potentially, if he wants to, slide over to the right side if it helps the offensive line in general. Now, I am really just focusing on the right tackles, and throughout the majority of this video, you're going to get 5 names with every single position. For this example here, I'm only going to give 4 because there's only 4 offensive tackles that the Raiders should consider, because at the end of the day, if you're not going to re-sign Jermaine Illuminor, you better find a legit right tackle starter in free agency. If your decision is not to sign anybody, fine. It's going to be tough, though, to find that starting right tackle in the draft if your plan is to trade up for Jaden Daniels. The names that I like a lot here, Jermaine Illuminor is my guy. Like, that's who I want the silver and black to bring back. Another very intriguing name. If you want upside, and this is more upside, but you still plan on drafting a tackle high in the draft, Mekhi Becton. When Mekhi Becton came out of Louisville, I had a very, very high grade on him. Unfortunately, he was unable to stay healthy because he was in bad shape. I would be willing to take a chance on Mekhi Becton, though I also love Dalton Wagner. I think he should be a sleeper. If you're like, no, I'm good with Thayer Menford, then you're not going to sign any of these guys. Let's go to number 4 here. It's cornerback on my list, and Antonio Pierce said finding a corner, a legit cornerback one, was a very high priority for him. And I'll tell you what, I love what the cornerbacks look like here in free agency. I also think the cornerback draft depth is pretty spectacular as well. The top corner in this free agency class is Kendall Fuller. Jalen Johnson signed a 4-year, $76 million deal with the Bears, and then L'Jarius Sneed got franchise tag. So if you want to go up, pay up, which I've been told that the Raiders are interested in Kendall Fuller. I did a video on it yesterday. The original report came from Scout on IG. Xavier Howard has a lot of ties. Adoree Jackson has a lot of Patrick Graham ties. I think Steven Nelson probably ends up going back to Houston. And then if you're looking for a long, lanky, cheap type of corner, Akilla Witherspoon is another name to keep in mind. Next names positions coming up here is offensive guard. I should also mention that we're not just talking about the top players at the position. You're going to see some names that I'm willing to break the bank for. You're going to see some names that are probably a safe just in the middle, and then there's going to be some more cheaper options just based on the overall level of how big of a priority it is for the Raiders. Let's now look at offensive guards. And to me, I in particularly looked at the right guard position. I also looked for a few people at left guard, like Damian Lewis. He's going to be your left guard. I wouldn't mind the Raiders bringing back Greg Van Roten on a very cheap type of deal to be that sixth man, if you will, on the offensive line. Graham Glasnow is an interesting name. Robert Hunt is the top offensive guard left on the market. And then Laken Tomlinson is another intriguing name that I've brought up before, that if you need to be able to move and have a little bit more versatility, could be a name to keep in mind. So I just talked about right tackle, cornerback, and offensive guard. Out of those three positions, we got your checkbook right now. The Raiders got some salary cap money, and it's Monday morning. And they say, hey, we're going to sign a player bright and early. What position are you going for right away? Are you going for right tackle? Somebody that could potentially protect your quarterback. If it's Michael Penix Jr., shit, that's your blind side. Is it going to be a corner that Antonio Pierce called a priority? Is it going to be offensive guard? I'm not putting defensive tackle, and I'm not putting quarterback in here because that's how I know all of your answers would go. I'm saying out of these positions right here, your biggest priority, right tackle, cornerback, offensive guard, let me know down below. My answer is right tackle. And the reason why that I say that it's right tackle, it's not the position that I'm going to go out and break the bank for. It's not the position that I'm going to go out and spend the most money on. It's, at the end of the day, if you're going to try to find, brand new quarterback, whether he's a rookie, if, God forbid, it's Aiden O'Connell again, you better make sure that your offensive line is legit. And if the Raiders' number one plan is Jaden Daniels, and it does sound like it is truly Jaden Daniels, that with a QB that is that skinny, you have to make sure that he is going to be upright and he's going to be good to go, because if he's not, then you're wasting that pick anyway. So for me, I am going to say right tackle. But hey, I ended up making this video and I made the rankings anyway. Today's show is sponsored by Panda Supps, and if you haven't already, go try the best protein on the market right now. It's pandasupps.com, 20% off, and that's if only you use code Raiders. The reason why I love this protein here, I mean, listen to these. I got 30 grams of protein, 4 grams of carbs, 150 calories per scoop, 2 grams of sugar. It's a multi-stage protein, grass-fed collagen, probiotic blend, which I freaking love, and then digestive enzymes. One of the things that I've noticed when I drink this, I feel skinnier because I get rid of all the crap in my gut. When you get rid of the crap in your gut, you're going to be amazed of how just all the gases leave, and you're just thinner. It's just the God honest truth. But also on top of that, I have a Ninja Creamy, and Chugs, I don't know if, I know you and I talk about this off camera. I feel like this protein was invented for Ninja Creamy.
I mean, the amount
it's unbelievable.
The amount of ice cream I've made with Panda Supps should be illegal.
Yeah, people are like, when he walks into a grocery store, Tom Thumb is nervous. They start sweating. You know what I mean? Hey, Panda Supps is legit. I want you guys to go check them out. It's also owned by a Raider fan, so if you rock with your own, then rock with Panda Supps. Pandasupps.com, code Raiders, 20% off. Links available to y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. All right, let's go to center position now. I don't believe that the Raiders are bringing back Andre James. Again, I spoke to a source at the NFL Combine that said that James is not going to be coming back. The only way that he is going to be returning is if the Raiders break the bank on him. So you are going to see his name on this list. However, this is the one position that I don't really think that the Raiders are going to put a very big priority on. And the center position, the reason why it's a top need is because if Andre James leaves, which he's going to, the center position is free. However, then I do believe that Dylan Parham comes over. He ends up being your center. I'll also say, though, if you're more confident, and I'd be more confident if the Raiders were to, like, let's say, you signed Connor Williams. Then you have an honest conversation of, is Connor Williams a better center or is he a better guard? Is Dylan Parham a better guard or is he a better center? I'm just looking at the best available centers, and if you're not confident on Dylan Parham, then realistically, if you're not confident in Parham to be a center, you just try to bring back Andre James. Let's go to number 7 here, and it's at the running back position. Now, one of the names that you're going to see on this list, realistically, probably 2 of the names that you're going to see on this list don't make sense anymore because the Raiders have re-signed Amir Abdullah. And when I made this list, I said Eno Benjamin could be an Amir Abdullah replacement. Same way where I said Antonio Gibson could be an Amir Abdullah replacement. I'm just being honest. Take these 2 names, throw them off the list right now. If you're going to spend some money at the running back position, pay Josh Jacobs. Just pay him. If you're going to spend money, you pay Jacobs. You do right by your guy. Telsco, you said you wanted to do right by your guys. Let's time to do right. If you're not going to spend money on Jacobs and you're legitimately just trying to find a good bang for your buck running back, I think that's where Austin Eckler comes in line. He'd be a good combo back with Zamir White next to Amir Abdullah, probably $5 million, has no connections with Telsco. If you just want a thumper, then you go out and you sign Deonta Foreman. If you're going to sign Foreman, you don't pay him more than $2.5, $3 million, but that means you still have to draft a running back. If you don't want to draft a back, the answers are this. If you're going to actually spend money, I think if you're going to spend $8 million on Jacobs compared to $6 million on Eckler, just spend the extra money and go get your dude. My question, though, is Josh Jacobs. How confident are you that he actually returns to this team? I know he's the running back. I know he's a fan favorite. I know how a lot of people feel. But how confident are you that Josh Jacobs returns? Scale it from 1 to 10. I also see some people saying Joe Mixon. Due to Joe Mixon's previous things that has happened to him at Oklahoma, if you know the Fred Bilenikoff story, I don't think that Joe Mixon will ever be a part of the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's go to number 8 here. It's tight end. And tight end is a need of some sorts. Like, you have Michael Mayer, who I am unbelievably confident. Michael Mayer is going to be a top 5 tight end in the National Football League. The only other tight end, though, that you have on your roster is Zach Gentry, right? And you can't go into the season with Gentry. Hell, if I was the Las Vegas, I'd move on from him. I'm actually curious if the Raiders sign 2 names from this list, and realistically, which you might like, you might not like, I think if I'm going to pick 2 names, it's going to be Mercedes Lewis, and it's going to be Robert Tonyan. Robert Tonyan's been with Luke Getsy from Green Bay, took him over to Chicago. Mercedes Lewis is a great, and I mean a great blocking tight end, and if I'm the Raiders, I'm looking for a great blocking tight end, but I might also look for just that tight end number 2, and I think Troutman is an intriguing name to keep in mind. Colby Parkinson. I threw in Gerald Everett in here just because of his connections with Telsco, though spending $5-6 million on its second tight end is not really smart. You spend $1 million on Mercedes, and you could probably get Colby or Tonyan for a little bit less than $3-4 million, though I will be curious to see what Tonyan ends up getting because he did have one really solid season. Let's go to linebacker next up here on the Raiders report, and linebacker, I would have had Drew Tranquill on this list, but Tranquill signed a 3-year deal with the Kansas City Chiefs, so I had to go with some cheaper names, and the only name that I threw on here that's going to be expensive is Frankie Louvu, and I would say if you view I view the running back position the way that I do linebacker, okay? If I'm going to spend $10 million, would you rather spend it on Josh Jacobs or Frankie Louvu, right? Like, if I'm being real with y'all, I'd probably rather spend it on Frankie Louvu. If you want to bring in another linebacker, though, that's like $5 million and under, I think Levante David, Bobby Wagner, Blake Cashman had himself a hell of a year. Jugs talks about him all the time, but he also has a lot of injury issues. I do think that Shear here has another name to at least just throw out there. I would say out of the possibilities on this list, due to the connection that Mike Caldwell has with Levante David, would be the name that I would throw out. But again, now after Drew Tranquill has left, I wouldn't be upset if the Raiders didn't sign any linebackers this offseason and just concentrate on the draft. Let's go to safety now. It's the next position up here. You already got 2 rock stars in Trevon Merrick, and you also have another rock star in Marcus Epps. But Isaiah Palomeo is available, and I don't know where safety could potentially land. I think it's going to be a really shitty market for safety, if I'm being honest with you. Like, I know that the Raiders have had interest in Jordan Poyer before, but that was this old regime, and I think Poyer is just going to cost more than what you're going to get out of him at this stage. I do know that there's been some interest in Geno Stone. Xavier McKinney, he's got ties with Patrick Graham. Jordan Whitehead, he's got ties with the Raiders' current cornerback coach, Ricky Manning. Deshaun Elliott, he's got ties with holy crap, Gerald Everett. And then Alohi Gilman, he's also got ties with Tom Telesco. So to me, at a what? Everett? Yeah, Gerald Alexander. That's on me. That's on you, Zon. So, like, if you're going to spend at the safety position, you're not going to try to go out there and break the bank. You're just going to look at dudes that you believe fit your system are going to be the right guys because it's not a major need. Coming up, though, I still got 2 more positions to talk about. It's edge, and then it's also wide receiver, which our positions are of a need, and I think this is more of, yeah, you can never have too many guys that can get after the quarterback, but I think with Malcolm Kuntz, Max Crosby, I'm very confident in those 2 guys. Besides that, though, the Raiders do need to go out and add some edges. Before I get into that, I do want to give a shout-out to some people here of the Noti Gang, the people that are subscribed, that take pride in trying to be one of the very first people to comment on a video that I do. Believe it or not, it helps out a lot. Like, legitimately, it does. So, Madvet, Isaac, Matt, to the Queen, to BO3, salute to you. If you want a future shout out here on the show, hit that subscribe button. turn on those notifications, and try to be a first person to comment. Let's go to the wide receiver position now. I got Darnell Mooney only because of his connections with Luke Getsy, though. I don't know if Mooney would want to go there. Curtis Samuel's a good underneath route receiver who I think would be pretty good in the screen game. If you're looking for legit speed, I'm looking at Quez Watkins. I also think Nick here down at the bottom. He's got some speed. He's also a pretty good blocker, but if you want a player on top of that who, like Matt Collins has got ties to the Raiders. I know he was here with Derek Carr, but he's a good run blocker, and he's a great special teams player. Like, I would sign Matt Collins based on his special teams ability alone, but like out of all these names, the name that I would personally look at if I was the Raiders is Quez Watkins just because of his deep threat ability. And then let's look at some edge rushers here. There's going to be some Miami guys, Emmanuel Ogbah, Andrew Van Ginkel. They have ties with not only Rob Leonard, but Patrick Graham from their ties. Kyle Van Noy, very versatile player. And then Caleb Von Chasen, this past season, was with Mike Caldwell, who was the Raiders' new linebacker coach, outside linebacker Kavon Chasen. I'd be curious to see if he would have like a, kind of like what Arden Key did, where he got a new chance, got to go somewhere else. Could the Raiders be Caleb Von Chasen's new shot? And if I was a guy like him, I would see what Malcolm Kuntz did over the final 9 games with Antonio Pierce, Patrick Graham, and I go, that's an opportunity that I would love to have because this guy's got a shit ton of talent. And then the final move that I'm just going to throw in here is this. The Raiders, I want them to bring back Trent Sieg. Like, when the Raiders moved on from Sieg, they cut him and they signed Jacob Bobenmoyer. Let's cut Jacob Bobenmoyer, another Patriot. You save $1.12 million. You bring in Trent Sieg, who Daniel Carlson and A.J. Cole freaking rock with. When Rich Bisaccia took over for the Raiders, the first thing that he did was he gave A.J. Cole a new deal, he gave Daniel Carlson a new deal, and he gave Trent Sieg a new deal. I know it might not be that big of a deal, but you know what? This was probably one of the worst seasons that Daniel Carlson has had as a Raiders kicker. And it could be because maybe he doesn't have as good of a relationship with his long snapper. Let's bring the trio back together because the best special teams unit that I have seen by the Raiders, Trent Sieg, A.J. Cole, and Daniel Carlson. That's what I want to have happen. Now, if you made it this far in the video, shout out to all of y'all. Hit that subscribe button. We're talking freaking long snappers here. How many channels are talking long snappers? If you also want to party and rock with us, shout out to Ryan Campbell. Shout out to David Zahn. It's about to get wet and wild here on the Raiders Report. What up, John? Mitch. The song is called The Country Mexican. Skip to my Lou. You see country folk dancing it. I don't know if that's it. What are they looking at out there? Oh, there's a rainbow. Legitimately, I was worried that like a tornado or something, an explosion.
I thought there was a crash because
all I hear then is go get a pot of gold chip. They're looking at a rainbow out there.
You can't make it up.
I wish I could show you what I'm looking at.
The entire office.
I got nervous.
The entire office just ran to the window. Ooh, a rainbow!
I actually got a little bit nervous about it. I really did. I was like, what on earth just happened out there?
Were y'all just looking at a rainbow?
It's right there. It's right there.
He also said, Mitch, if you and Alex want to save a buttload of money, get married in Mexico, ask Alex. She'll tell you. Okay, I got to go see this.
It's the clearest rainbow you've ever seen. All right, come here. Now I got to see it now. Now I got to see it. Also, Justin Matabuke, 4-year, $98 million deal.
What up, what up? Looks as though it's a very successful Friday here on the Raiders Report. 965 in supers. Clap it up. I'm clearly taller than Mitch here, so I might have to bend down a little bit. Another $100 super chat as I'm on set, and I'll either do a beer bong or a shotgun right now. Eddie Rodriguez, what's good, OG? Yeah, so Mitch and Chugs left because I'm not kidding you, as Mitch would say. There's a rainbow outside of our studio, clearest rainbow I've ever seen. Am I right? It's right there. The pot of gold is right there.
I mean, it's a good rainbow.
It's a good rainbow.
It's a good rainbow. It's not the best rainbow I've ever seen. 1 minute on the clock for what is this?
This is a beer bong or a shotgun.
Beer bong or a shotgun? Yikes. 100? All right. If it happens, chase for holding it down. I don't know if it's gonna happen. I'll match it. Let me pour up mine. Actually, I already got a full one in here.
A room full of grown men sprinted to the window. If you gave me 10 guesses, I would not have guessed rainbow.
A rainbow? Honestly, as quick as Tyler went, I thought it was cake. I love cake. What up, Nico? What up, Alan? What up, Gabriel? We do have some news here around the NFL. The Ravens, they have signed Justin Matabuke to a 4-year, $98 million deal, 75.5 guaranteed. Wow. Dude, that was brutal. That was brutal. I'm not going to lie. That one was a little bit brutal. I also want to see if we got any more names here in our 50-50. We do not. So as it stands right now, we have 23 names in. So that's $230 to the winner, plus 100 from me, which puts it at $330, plus another 50. Winner gets $380.
Guess who?
So if you want in, get in.
Apparently, Amir Abdullah also going to be a part of a movie / documentary.
Yep. I've seen that.
Darth Fatash just tagged us on Twitter.
Oh, no, I've seen that already. I think that information came out yesterday or 2 days ago, if my memory serves me correct. Yes, Amir Abdullah is going to be in a movie. I'm not going to lie. I got to pee too, so you got to hurry up. You go first. Well, you just said you had to pee. Okay. Jeremy's going to be able to hold it. I'll be right back, though, because I got to go.
All right. Mitch is going to go take a quick leak. But in the meantime, you can get your hashtag Raiders questions in. We're going to do a duck race whenever he gets back. And if there's nothing else, we're going to head out. Reminder, we'll be live all of next week during NFL free agency. Misty, I will check for you once he gets back. It's all on Mitch's phone with his Venmo. So I don't have the list on me, but I will check for you, Misty, as soon as he gets back. But if you want to ask a question using hashtag Raiders, get in the comment section. Let me know what you want to talk about. Celtics. We get 2 more entries. Oh, okay. Smitty said he's down for a little shotgun action.
I'm depressed.
What's going on?
They're going to do a field trip for the rainbow.
They're still searching for the. Is this a Lucky Charms commercial? What the hell is going on? What is? I'm gonna stop before I get myself in trouble. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's see. I see a couple questions rolling in. First, from my guy Robert Jansen. Mitch, over under on how many calls Raiders make if 2 of 4 picks are not QBs. Oh, they're making moves if there's only 2 quarterbacks in the first 4 picks, because you have the Giants at 6, who they want to take a quarterback. They want a quarterback. The only problem, which let me double check the NFL draft order. The only problem you run into there, Robert, is you know who owns the 5th pick? The Chargers. So you would have to, which it would be hard, you'd have to trade with the Cardinals at 4 to really make it happen, because I think the Chargers would try to fleece you. I don't know if they would let the Raiders trade up with them to leapfrog the Giants to get a quarterback. That's the only shitty part, is that the Chargers sit at 5. So realistically, your only trading options if you're trying to jump the Giants are at 3 with the Patriots or 4 with the Cardinals. Because I don't see a world where the Chargers let you trade up for your starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Mitch, your thoughts?
Over under, how many calls Raiders make it? 2 or first 4? Say that again? Wait.
If 2 of the first 4 picks are not quarterbacks, he was saying how many calls would the Raiders make? And I said the only problem with that is the 5th pick is the Chargers.
Yeah, I don't think the Chargers trade with the Raiders. I think if you're going to make the deal, like, you got to try to get up to 4. Like, maybe the Chargers make a deal. I don't see why they would. Like, I would never want to help my division rival, especially if they're trading up in that situation because they believe that they're going to find their franchise quarterback. Now, I can go spin zone here and say maybe if the Chargers are just so confident that a certain guy isn't the QB, they're like, all right, like, yeah, you can trade up for that guy. But I don't see the Chargers allowing us to do it. Who is a mid to late round sleeper that you think could be a steal? Oh, boy. I'll talk about it just based on, like, the Raiders mock drafts that I've done. So the running back that I love is Marshawn Lloyd. I think he's a really good back out of USC if they are looking for another dude. And now the fact that they re-signed Amir Abdullah and they have Sincere McCormick, if they re-sign Josh Jacobs, I don't really think that it makes any sense for the Raiders to draft a running back. I will say Ray Davis is another back that I like a lot. I think Theo Johnson is an intriguing tight end name out of Penn State that you could look at because they met with him at the Combine. Cam Hart has been a corner that I've continuously got out of Notre Dame. He's an athletic freak, though he's starting to climb up cornerback draft rooms, which it doesn't really surprise me too much in that regard. Oh, man. I was going to say, the problem is a lot of my sleepers that I had, I don't even know if I consider them sleepers anymore just because, like, Trevin Wallace was a guy that I used to be able to get in mock drafts in the 5th or 6th round, right? Like, that doesn't happen anymore. So I'll have to do more homework on some of my late round picks. At quarterback, it's Spencer Rattler, but even that, like, Rattler, I thought that maybe he could go day 3, like round 4, round 5. Not going to happen anymore. To me, I see Spencer Rattler going round 3 and above because he does have some of that high upside that a lot of NFL scouts are going to look at. And if quarterbacks like J.J. McCarthy go in the top 10, that means you're going to see no doubt 5 quarterbacks going round 1. And if 5 QBs going round 1, all the other quarterbacks are going to start to just go a little bit higher. All right, y'all, we got 500 people here in the building. Shout out to all of y'all. And if we get any more questions, please don't be shy. We'll do it. Jeremy, he's going to go take a quick leak, and then he'll be back. He'll be able to put some of these super chats up on screen. But, like, what we're going to do here is this. We are going to do a duck race. That duck race is going to be for some money, which, if you don't know, it is a $20 Venmo for a chance to get in. The last name that I see is Ray Aguirre, and then I got to add a few more in here. So, Misty Williamson, you are in. Jose Martinez, you are in. Anthony Green is in. Isidro, you are in. Adrian Bravo, so in. And then Miggy Camacho is also in. So as it stands right now, I see winner would get 290 plus 100, 390 plus 50, 440. Winner gets $450, $20 Venmo for $440. It's $440. I think I said that wrong. $440. Oh boy, this is gonna be a big one. Actually, we're there. Scott Eckert. Now we put it at $450.
Did I win yesterday?
You did not.
Butthole pick?
No, not butthole pick. I forget who I sent the butthole pick to. Chip actually beat you.
Did he won?
No, he came in like 10th. I think you came in like 21st. Which, again, if you're not first, you're last. The person who's been the luckiest on this has been Anthony Green. The last few races, I don't know if Anthony has finished below 3rd place in the last like 10 races that we've done. Seriously. He's won 6 out of them. He's won 6.
Out of the last 10?
I'm going to say he's won 6 out of the last 10. Or no.
Is he in today?
No. That's cap. He's won 3 out of the last 10, has finished top 2 in 6 out of the last 10.
Wow.
I mean, he's been Anthony. I mean, come on.
What do you do for work? Duck races.
Duck races. I'm a professional duck racer. What's your key?
Do you breed them? No, I just.
Well,
I
there's
just watch.
horses, there's dogs, and sometimes there's ducks. Ah, I got you.
Today there's leprechauns.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. All right.
All right. I don't see. Oh, false alarm. We got Trivan is in.
Woo!
And then I see Salvador Mena is in. All right, I'm going to send these names here to Jeremy. And then after this duck race, Chugs, I want to do a deal of the day. And I just want to see how it goes. And we're going to put the deal of the day on the clock for 10 minutes. And then that's how we'll end the show. It'll be 10 more minutes, deal of the day. After that, unless you guys want to keep rocking, but I'm pretty sure that's going to be it. Because I don't know how much more your boy can do. I thought I was prepared. I don't know if I was prepared enough. Miggy, Mitch and Chugs, cheers. I'm in. Mig, you in, man. I got no more. Oh, I got one more left. I got already a beer bong stocked and loaded here. Oh, I got another one too. I got 2 beers left and a beer bong. Who wants to get it going? Who wants to get it going with your boy? Come on. Who wants to get it going? Who wants to do a beer bong? I'm in. Jeremy, we got 32 names. So, again, winner's going to get 320 plus that, 420 plus 50, 470. $470 to somebody today on Venmo at Mitchell Renz 365. Though, we did get one more late entry, and it's Greg. Greg Sheldon, you in. Greg Sheldon in. So that means it's 480. 100 for a beer bong. So we got a guy named Smitty. He's got a Seahawks hoodie on right now. He said he'll take it off. Hey. Oh, man. It can get wild in here. If you want to see a beer bong race between Smitty and I, or what, you're going to do shot fun? Wait, shotgun? Oh, a real shotgun. All right, I'm in. I'll race you. Yeah, that's probably true. Beer shotgun. Beer shotgun. Beer shaka-laka, laka, chaka-laka. 3, 2, 1. Run it. Winner gets $480. Imagine, Jeremy just said it's insane that the stakes are on these leprechauns. Imagine you right now sitting there, you're like, I have a chance to win $480. And somebody out of the 33 people in this are like, I just won $480 watching this. Nico's creeping me out. I'm going to be honest. Nico's creeping me out here a little bit. This guy looks like Harry all weekend. He's been sick. I can't even tell who that is. The problem with the leprechauns is I have no idea where anybody is besides Fluhy, Vargas, Eugene. Anthony Green, I think, just stepped on a leper. I don't know. He just stepped on a 4-leaf clover. Gutierrez here. That's you, Gutierrez. I just can't spell. Laszlo has been just strolling in the park for this entire race. Uh-oh. Who's this? Trivan! Oh, man! Mount Raider Moore. Trivan with the dub. Congrats, good sir. I'll tell you what, I'm glad Trivan won. Where did Anthony Green, I'm worried about him. Who's getting the butthole pick? Jason Martinez. Congratulations, Jason. Anthony, he was trying for it. He gets the gooch pick, which might be worse. I don't know. All right, we're getting off the rails. All right, Jeremy, I need a clock for 10 minutes. And this is going to be the deal that we do. The only deals I'm going to do, we're not going to do tune o'clock. We haven't done tune o'clock all day now that I think about it. So we're going to take that off, okay? The everybody shots, Jeremy, if you want to take a shot, we can. The only 2 deals that I want to do are $10 wheel spins and $50 beer bongs. So here's how we're going to do this for the last 10 minutes. Every 50 that we get for the final 10 minutes, it is going to count. So as long as the 10-minute clock is counting down, If you send in a 50, I'm going to count it as a bang, and I'm going to count it towards our bang counter for the end of the month. Does that make sense? It's not the NBA trade, though. Close, though. Here's the thing, though. I'm not going to do a beer bong every 50. I'm going to do a beer bong every 2 50s that come in. So you still get a bang as for the March, but I'm only going to do one every 2. Does that make sense? I hope so, because I don't know how I painted that picture. So if we get... What? Who moved it up? Oh, you think it's higher? It definitely is, because it's supposed to be...
Yeah. Did they move up the shot clock? Like a countdown timer?
I think they did. I think they did. Yes, Abby, hap off the bangs. Trivan, I want to confirm that you got it down below. Please confirm that you did. And the way that I want to do this is I also want to get some questions in. So if anybody has any Raiders questions for the final 9 minutes, hashtag Raiders or Super Chat. I don't know what these guys are talking about back here. If anybody wants a good wheel spin, Trivan! Bang! Trivan said, you know what? I just got some duck race money. We're throwing it out there, Trivan. If you want to shout out here on the Raiders Report, spam Trivan right now down below. Trivan, how you been, man? It's been a minute or two. Haven't seen you. I miss your musk. What? Oh, now you got it? The shot clock? They made 2? What up, Trivan? I see King, Zalesbo, Frisco, Tay, Sienna Matty down there in the chat. Trivan said that he got it. What up, Naki, Tay, Abby, Frisco? What are you doing? At first, I thought you were doing like the finger trick, giggity, where it's like, they can't see you. You're not on screen. They have no idea. Eric says, where do you think Fields ends up? I have no idea where Fields is going to go, dude. Do you think that Fields could be a backup? Like, do you think that he's going to be a backup quarterback? There's a part of me that thinks that it's possible.
That would be wild if he ended up being a backup quarterback, because I do think he is a top 32 quarterback.
I believe he's a top 32 quarterback as well, but if you don't think that that guy has the chance to be the guy, do you trade for him?
Yeah. It's like we played the game with AOC. It's like, would he be better than this guy? Like, I think he's better than Derek Carr. Possibly.
Oh, I agree. I would take Justin Fields in a heartbeat over Derek Carr.
Justin Fields. Let me ask Petey this. Petey's a Justin Fields, not believer, but thinks he's a good quarterback. Fields or Geno? He said Fields straight face, like I just asked him, do you want $100 or a kick in the nuts? No quiver, no anything. He just looked at me.
I'm with him, though.
He said Fields.
I would rather have Justin Fields than Geno Smith. Imagine Geno Smith on the Chicago Bears and that team. Right. I mean, Fields with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Pete Carroll, like, I think he's doing a lot more.
Imagine trying
Bang!
on that team.
Oh, man. Trivan.
Well, I mean, it's just, I don't know. Like, you think of him against or like paired up with other starting quarterbacks in the league, it would just be wild to me, because we were talking about it earlier in the office, and we were like, okay, if Kirk Cousins doesn't go back to Minnesota, he signs with like the Falcons.
Yep.
And Russ signs with, I don't know, the Raiders, or they sign with, I don't know. Like, I don't see Justin Fields being a backup quarterback. I could see the Giants trading for Justin Fields, but then also, where does that put the quarterbacks that are in the draft? Because a lot of people think there's 4 starting quarterbacks in the draft. So
Jeremy, I got a new rule that I want to implement. How about this? Every time somebody sends in a 50, we add an extra 2 minutes onto the clock. Is that fair? So Tri-Van sent in 2. So let's put this back up to 9. Every time somebody sends in a 50, we'll add some time back onto the clock. So that puts us at there. Isidro! Bang! He said 2 more minutes on the clock. So now we're at, is that how that math works?
Nope, I added.
Well, it's fine.
Oh, no. Yeah.
We're good. We're good. Isidro pulled up to the scene with the bang missing. What up, Isidro? I got my man here. Dude, how many? He said his first bang. I'll say this also. I got to figure out how to say this name. Like, to me, I don't think.
Isidro.
Isidro? Is that right?
Somebody Venmo'd you, I guess.
Isidro's got one. So I got to count. So how many have we gotten today then? How about this? If we get one more, I'll do a beer bong, and then we're going to throw in another entry for the helmet because I've legitimately lost count. I've actually lost
Yoda
count.
said you have to roll the R. Isidro.
Roll the R. Guys, I can't do that. Oh, man. Oh, man. Fat, bearded, dead, bang! Spam FBD down below. If you want to shout out, Fat Bearded Dad now has reclaimed the title as the March MVP. The March MVP belongs to one man and his fat beard. The Fat Bearded Dad.
FBD. FBD. FBD.
Fat Bearded Dad.
I want to take like the top 20 Raiders Report spenders of all time, and I want to get the new WWE video game and put them all in a Royal Rumble and like watch it live.
I'll make you a deal right now. You get the new Royal Rumble. We'll pay for it. What if that's the new duck race?
Those take a little bit longer.
How long?
Like
I'm talking like May, June, and July. If Friday happy hour, right?
at the very end, we do a wrestling
I mean,
match,
we did a game simulation for the Raiders all 4 quarters.
which we will be doing
Yes,
again this year.
we're gonna be doing again. What if
enough people liked it.
What if, like, instead of a duck race, I like this idea. Instead of a duck race, you pay to get in the final 30 minutes of our show on Fridays in May, June, and July, which, if you're watching in May, June, and July, shout out to y'all. Y'all a real one. We do a Royal Rumble.
That'd be lit.
Dude, Fat Bearded Dad off the top rope. Bang! I'm in. We're doing it. Are you guys in? Do you like the idea? Y for yes and for no. Instead of duck races, May, June, and July,
And you have to
Royal Rumbles.
You have to pick a wrestler that's in the game.
do we go by priority? So if it's like, if we do it kind of like how we do the duck race where it's like 20 to get in, the first person, you pick your guy, and then he's off the board.
Yes.
Okay, I like that. Get the game. Seriously,
And
I'm in.
Maybe
Get the game.
Maybe we give them 20 names of like the top 20 wrestlers in there, and we just give them that.
Can you take a screenshot and just like show the list?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, can we get to May? Can we get to May already? So do you have to get the game or you have the game?
No, I have to get the game.
Yeah, get the game. That's going to be electric. That's
Nico
going to be
says,
electric.
Or we can game scan our faces, which would be cool, but knowing everybody here and the different amounts of how people can do technology, that could go very south very quick of like people trying to do it.
Yeah, I would say that'd be one of those.
Could you imagine if your dad spent $20 and you're like, okay, Dad, I need you to game scan your face for this WWE video game. He doesn't even he can barely FaceTime.
No, I honestly, Half the time when I FaceTime my dad, I just look at the inside of his ear anyway. So that's all I get. Josh Melton! Bang!
Josh says, I am in on the Royal Rumble bang.
Dude, I'll tell you what right now. This is going to be an electric idea. I'm excited. I was going to say, I wish we could almost do it now, but.
We honestly, I don't even have to get it because.
What do you mean?
James has a PS5 here now.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
we can just have him get it.
Dude, we got to do it. We got to run it.
Oh, Smitty already has the game.
Wait, you have the game?
Wait, disc or download? Yeah, but the only thing is, I don't want you to have to leave your Xbox here, or continue to bring it back every single day.
Yeah, that's brutal. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Hands up.
Mitchell, let's get Russell for cheap and build an Avengers team. I mean, and hear me out. Like, I know how bad it was with Russ in Denver. I know how bad it was in Denver. What if Russell has a year and he goes back to looking like the quarterback that he was in Seattle?
He might be busy, which very rarely, I haven't seen this. PD actually has his legs crossed underneath the table, which I don't usually see that. Can you see?
Oh, yeah.
Crossed under the table. He gave a whole spiel earlier about Russell Wilson and would you like him based on
Rich Wolf.
only because of his ability or because of
Holy shit.
like how good he is? Or, I mean, his ability or like how cheap he is.
I mean, realistically, if you can find a quarterback of Russell Wilson's stature for less than $30 million per year, actually, it's probably a pretty good deal. Like, it is. For the Raiders in their certain circumstance, like, I'm not willing to pay anybody in free agency because I would just rather have Aiden O'Connell be the backup because I want a quarterback that you can find in the draft. So, there's that. Like, but if you can get Russell Wilson for legitimately under $30 million per year, like, that's a good deal. Like, Russell Wilson, if his name wasn't Russell Wilson and his contract wasn't the situation of what it is, teams would be willing to pay him $30 million at least per year.
Yeah.
You can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
If Baker Mayfield's getting 30, if Kirk Cousins is getting it off a popped Achilles, if Derek Carr got 37.5 last offseason, Russell Wilson's a quarterback that is worth at least $30 million that you have the opportunity to get him for at 1.21.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Did
I
you
agree.
add time for Josh?
Maybe?
I don't know if you did. I was going to say, I think you got to add 2 more minutes for Josh Melton. Now we are at 9:10. Left here on the clock. What?
Close.
Well, it actually said 9:12. I just went to 9:10. Yeah. You can't. You can't, dude. There's no way. Can we get to 500 likes, though? We are 3 likes away from 500 likes here on the Raiders Report.
Knock on wood if you're with me.
Knock on wood if you're with me. If you don't know the deals are this.
Girl's dad said Josh Jacobs or Saquon.
I'll take Jacobs. I mean, Saquon to me is not built for the way that the Raiders are going to run their running game this upcoming season. Yes, he's the better receiver. But if you're going to spend $10 million on a back, why not just bring the guy that like 100% wants to be a part of your team? I would bring back Jacobs. It would be close, though. I mean, they're both phenomenal running backs. So the deals are this: 10 for the wheel spin, 50 for a bang, and a beer bong. Those are the deals. This is how we started the show, but now it is 10 for a wheel spin and then 50 for a beer bong. Though, Jeremy, we haven't done a wheel spin in a while. Can I just get one?
Yeah.
I want a wheel spin. We just crossed 500 likes.
Ooh.
Since we haven't done anything for the tune o'clock, I say this: we have not done a single tune o'clock. So let's spin the wheel. Let's spin the wheel. This is going to be interesting here. I don't like either of these. All right, this might have been a bad idea.
Go back. Go back. Go back.
Let's do something else. Let's.
Spin it again. Spin it again.
All right. How about this? Double or nothing. Whatever it lands on, you got to do double of.
Well, what if it lands on me?
Well, that's all right. That's double or nothing. That's the triple or nothing.
Well, then that's even worse on me. Oh, you're saying if it lands on me, nothing. If it lands on you,
All right, how about
double?
this? If it lands on you, you got to do it. If it lands on me again, double or nothing. Oh, dude. Oh, man. Oh, Christ.
Woo! 2 beans.
Oh, that's a
2
disaster.
beans.
I'll be honest. I don't know if that's bad. That's really bad. All right, I'm a man of my word. Double jelly bean here.
You actually said triple, and I pressed it.
Double or nothing.
Am I picking for you?
Well, I think you should line them up.
Yeah.
You got to do
Okay.
you got to line them up.
Okay.
This is going to be interesting. And again, every time somebody bangs, we extend the show a little bit longer. 2 minutes. This has been.
I can't tell.
Abby said tequila shot over the 2 beans all day. I'm with you. I regret my decision very much so. It is what it is, though. Like, it's going to hurt my body more. It might be better of what I need right now. I have no idea, though. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I still got Yoda, John, Robert, Josh rocking with us. Shout out to David Zahn.
Okay, I think I have one of
Ryan
these now.
Campbell for being the
it is-
MVPs on today's
I don't know
show.
how you've been doing it.
What?
It's so hard to tell between the cayenne and the sriracha.
Yeah, it's very difficult. The cayenne is darker, like noticeably darker.
Okay. Yeah, I think I see
It's
it.
the darkest one.
Okay, so I'm going to do...
What up, Nico? Who's here rocking with us on a Friday? We have 350 people here on our show.
All right,
If you're rocking with us at this point, you're a real one.
so I'm going to have you pick one,
Okay.
and then I'm going to have them pick one. Do you want to go first or second?
So the numbers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yes.
All right. I'm gonna go with the first number that I legitimately see in the chat.
Oh, so you want them to go first. I'm going to have you pick one, and then I'm
Yeah,
going to have them.
I'm gonna pick whatever the first number I see in the chat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Close your eyes for 10 seconds, and I'll tell you to open it, all right? Spam 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. In 5, 4, 3,
Oh God.
2, 1, go.
5.
5.
It's jalapeno. All right. Do I have to eat? I gotta eat this one first, or do I both at the same time?
It's up to you.
I just hate the jalapeno one.
All right, so I'm going to mix them up a little bit. All right. Now it's 1 through 4.
Let's go with 3.
3. Oh, I think this might be the Reaper.
Luckily, it's not the Reaper.
Which one? Oh, is that the Cayenne?
This is cayenne. Though I'll
Well, then what
admit.
is this dark one?
What? Which one?
So that one looks way darker than that one, right? The one on the very end?
So luckily for me, Jeremy did not pick out a single Carolina Reaper.
Really?
Both of those. That's 2 cayennes, a sriracha, a jalapeno, and a mango habanero.
Dude, I don't know how you do it. I can't tell.
I've looked at them so much, I know exactly which ones are which.
I can't tell.
It's kind of sick.
All right, well,
Cheers. You want to try this one?
I'm okay.
This is the worst one. Spin again from Dry Van. Oh boy.
We'll just have this up. Every 10, we'll spin it. Oh. Chocolate Mitch. So Mitch got these French chocolates.
Chocolat. A nice little chocolat.
That actually smells good.
All right, I'll tell you this right now. Once we hit 2 minutes and under, I'm going to say every hundo This is going to be my final deal of the day. Every hundo that we get, I'm going to put an extra 5 minutes on the clock, and I'll do a beer bong for every hundo.
All right.
Final 2 minutes. Final 2 minutes.
All right. 1, 2, or 3.
Number 2, my lord. Number 2.
With this one, which I believe is
Pick
the
number 2, my lord.
ganache. Of course, the orange chocolate.
We got to split it, though.
Orange chocolate.
All right.
Do you like it?
It's very good. So I like these chocolates because they have texture.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of crunch.
You were wondering, this is the place,
This is the Bram.
and this is the chocolate that we just had. It's all in French, but this one right here.
All right. I just got a message that said, how long would you stay if we got a 500?
Well, if 100 was an extra 5, 30 minutes?
30 minutes? All right. 30 minutes. That's the answer. Fat bearded dad. Fat bearded
He
dad.
said that's too easy.
That was too easy. Spin that again.
But you only have a minute.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Is it worth it to you?
Yes. Stop. Stop. Stop.
All right, I guess I got to run in place until the timer goes out.
I like it.
Fuck. My knee.
I think you actually ran in place too much. Holy shit, dude.
Shit.
Oh my god. Oh my. Bro, I thought you. That was unbelievable.
My knee.
That's got to be a penalty.
That actually hurt.
He's got one more second. Oh, man.
Oh.
Are you all right? I think it was running place, not running forward. You legit
I looked at the chat for a second.
bang. Dude, that was iconic. Pat Bearded Dad said that's sub 4.4 speed right there. No doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. All right, nation.
Oh.
I think this is going to be it. I think this is the end of the road for Chugs and I. Unless you want us to stay live longer, we can.
Actually hurt.
We will be back on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. 11 a.m. Eastern Time. We're going to be live for probably a good 7-8 hours on that day. And it's going to be a good day, man. Josh said, don't give up now. Rebel said, I'm going to go nap. See? You got some nappers in
It's
the
like
building.
when you hit your funny bone
Oh,
in
dude.
your elbow. That's how it feels on my knee.
Is it your, oh, it's your knee?
Yeah.
I got bad knees, so believe me, I get you when I hear that.
But if you thought today's show was wild,
Yeah, dude, it's every
free
day next
agency,
week.
we're gonna have a lot of fun.
Every day next week is. I'm actually trying to pace myself. I am trying to pace myself for what I know is going to happen next week. It's going to be a hell of a time, man. It's going to be a hell of a time. All right, y'all. So from me, from Jeremy Chugs, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys are ready for a wild, wild week next week. It's free agency. I will see y'all Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern Time, here on the Raiders Report. From me, from Chugs, from the Chat Sports team, have a good weekend, and peace out.